Hey everybody, welcome to the show. Today's episode is brought to you by Hexa Coffee. They are a Chicago-based coffee company. They source their beans from all over the world, but roast them right there in the city of Chicago. They have incredible blends, and they even age some of their beans in bourbon barrels, giving them a bourbon flavor.
That's right, Paul.
And they also have a cafe in Chicago. Where can people find that, Christine?
Check them out, first of all, on social media at Hexa Coffee, but then visit them in Roscoe Village. They've got all sorts of amazing food, pastries, beer on draft, and cocktails using their amazing coffee. So they kind of nail that. I want to try them all. I'm going to get through the menu one day.
That's right.
Yeah, follow along on social media. They host a bunch of pop-up events as well, so it's more than your average coffee shop, and there is nothing average about this cup of joe.
And if you don't live in the city of Chicago, you can order their coffee online. And if you do so, we have a deal for you. So if you go to hexacoffee.com, that's Hexe coffee.com, and use the promo code ELK, you'll get 10% off of your purchase.
So exciting.
Yeah. So one more time, go to hexacoffee.com, use the promo code ELK for 10% off of your purchase.
I don't know anyone who doesn't like a good deal.
You'd have to be insane.
I think so.
You have to be out of your goddamn mind.
Absolutely ludicrous.
And then today on the show, we have Brendon Goldwasser, one of my favorite people in the world. Well, he's on it.
He's on it.
He's not in it.
He's on it, in it, around it.
He's all
I
over
love
it
sometimes.
And there's a little bit of bromance going on in this episode.
Yeah,
so,
I thought I should excuse myself several times.
Were you there? I didn't even really do it there. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, it's a good time. Brendon was one of my best friends in college, but we actually met coincidentally the summer before we even went to college. And we'll tell that story and much more.
Sounds good to me.
Cheers, Christine.
Cheers, love.
Enjoy the show.
So, is there a marker?
I'm gonna put some. One
of those things.
Coffee on display. You know we have a sponsor.
Oh yeah, do the thing.
Oh yeah.
We don't have to do an ad read, but I just want to display it.
Yeah, because you guys recorded one. Do you have to put that in front of everyone now?
He
Or
wants to
is
do
it
them
kind of
differently
deal?
every time. But I was saying, shouldn't we just have a couple and then you can kind of put like A, B, or C in
Hex.
Hexa.
Holy hex.
there? Hexa.
Holy hexa.
Holy Hexa. I put a Hexa on you.
Hexadecimal?
Yeah, Hexa Coffee. Chicago-based. Our buddy we grew up with. It's delicious. I should have made some. Now I actually, the other night, I was unbothered by our late night coffee. It gave me newfound hope that I could
just
be...
slammed some in the car. Cheers, y'all.
Cheers.
Brendon Goldwasser.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
in the
welcome.
flesh.
This is cool.
This is a long time coming, this drink.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you
True.
came over once and you didn't want it. Then you came another time and we didn't have it.
Yes.
And now you want it and we have it.
Yeah.
It's finally
Venn
third
diagram.
time's the charm.
Of choices.
Yeah. Well, what's up?
You're
I
late
just
to
got
the
home
game.
from work. Yeah, I'm late. You guys have been hanging out.
Yeah.
We're all set up and here we are. Our guest today, Mr. Brendon Goldwasser.
Hi.
One of my favorite people on the planet. Let me just start with that.
Oh,
I love you.
I love you too.
Yeah.
You're definitely one of my faves as well.
I was hoping you'd reciprocate. Yeah.
And
Do you know when and how I met Brendon?
No.
yeah.
I don't think I could fill it all in.
that's a crazy one.
Why don't you tell the
Yeah,
story?
I will. So I'm going to Bonnaroo with my friends from Ohio. So we're just driving down the freeway. And it gets really backed up as you get closer, which this was our first time going, so we didn't realize that happened, but they loop you around on the freeway to like organize all the traffic.
Yeah, it's just a line of cars for miles down the freeway.
Yeah, you're like, whoa, what's going on when you first approach? And then you see all the signs and you kind of realize, okay, they're just getting people organized to get in. But it gets super backed up, so you're sitting kind of on the side of the freeway for a minute just waiting for the cars to move in. And so we parked. I just went with me, and it was me and my friend Adam Schwager. What's up, Adam? And
Hey, dog.
Ari Sinfani, and
Ari.
two good friends. And so we just pulled over to the side of the freeway, and we were like, well, this line isn't moving that fast, so we'll just toss the Frisbee. We'll just hang out. And we noticed a few cars back, there was also a group of people tossing the Frisbee, just waiting for the traffic to move. So either their Frisbee came into our zone or vice versa, but we saw each other and the groups merged, and that happened to be Paul's group. And we met them.
And this
We
was...
didn't really meet that much on the side of the freeway. It was kind of just more of a...
But, because we were
recognized
on the freeway close
each
to
other.
we got shoveled in. We ended up parking and camping
Like we
near
saw you
each other
tossing the Frisbee
also.
and you guys saw us.
Yeah. All that happened was the Frisbee tossing then.
Yeah.
But this was 2007. This is before senior year of high school for us. So I had already decided I'm going to go to Full Sail next year after I do this last year of school, high school. And
Wait, no, this was 2008. This was
no,
2008.
I was going into senior year. You were...
This was 2008 because I went to Lollapalooza in 2007. And then I went to Bonnaroo in 2008.
I don't know. Because then did we start school? Then
we started school in 08, in August 08.
Right, but I thought this was Bonnaroo like a year before that.
No.
So this is just that summer.
Yeah. It was that
Okay.
summer right
I've been telling
before.
this story wrong for years. So it's the summer before we go to college.
Yeah.
I should have known because you
It's
didn't
June.
like prepare for college that far in advance.
I
you, or
did.
you
Going
knew?
into
You knew.
senior year, I already knew I was going to go to Full Sail because I went to the
I
orientation and I said, what grades do I need to get in?
atypical.
And they're like, we don't care. And I was like, what about like the SAT or whatever? They're like, oh, we don't care. Like, you just come.
Yeah,
Yeah.
your mind
I
made
was
up.
like, oh, wow. Okay, great. So then senior year started. I took like 4 classes all of senior year because I didn't need anything. But anyway,
Yeah.
we were going to Full Sail and I guess Jordan, Jordan, our friend Jordan.
Yeah.
He
Good dude.
must have overheard or just been hanging out with your guys. And he's like, yo, Paul, this guy's going to Full Sail. And
Yeah.
then we met
At the campsite.
at the campsite. Yeah, you guys
Yeah.
came to our campsite and we just met.
Right.
And it was like, I remember you asked me like, do you know like anything? Because
Yeah,
we were
I
like
was
going to
like-
learn audio recording, and like, I was like, no, I'm going in. I don't know this stuff at all. And you're like,
Yeah.
good, thank God. Like me neither,
Yeah,
But
it
anyway,
was
then,
very reassuring.
yeah, same for me.
But it was just wild too that I had made the decision to go at that time too, because I left out of high school. I decided to go to University of Cincinnati just to try that route. I didn't.
Brendan's a year older than us.
I had kind of known about Full Sail, but I didn't really look into it more until I was at the University of Cincinnati for a little bit and just was kind of realizing that it didn't feel as right as I thought it'd be. I was also, partying in the dorm and like getting in trouble a lot. So just kind of making just kind of poor decisions. But it was also it also didn't feel right either. It was kind of a mix of things. It was like,
Right.
I was also getting in trouble and, but I was also at the same time, it was like becoming hard for me to see myself there for a longer time.
Mm-hmm.
So I knew about Full Sail, and so I started to rethink that again, and it felt like that was a better decision.
Like, so you had been thinking about Full Sail even before you went to
Almost
Cincinnati?
a little more of like Full Sail type of schools,
Right.
I
And
was
so then
like,
you're at Cincinnati, you're like,
because there were other
maybe I
schools like
should've done
that I was
Yeah.
investigating
Uh-huh.
at the time, and I was like, maybe that's a path, and I thought that there was something at UC that could fit that, but I don't know. Essentially, I was just like, I don't know if this kind of 4-year typical kind of degree is for me. So I was at UC, and then I left and went home and just kind of worked in Dayton, just at like a restaurant while I figured out what the next move was going to be. But essentially knew I was going to go to Full Sail after that little phase. But so yeah, it was that summer in between me leaving UC that I went to Bonnaroo before Full Sail. And that's where I met you. But then
at orientation.
At orientation,
I go to Full Sail, we're at orientation, and I'm like, wait, I know that guy from Bonnaroo. And he's like, hey, I remember you. And we're like, yeah. You want to hang out?
we were starting at the same time.
Yeah, and so
that's
and Full
just
Sail,
so cute, guys.
if you start, you have to start the same month in order to be in a class. Like you can start in November, you can start in May, like you can start whenever, but that's when your program starts, and then you move forward from there. So like every month you're kind of shuffled through. And it's a weird program where each month you take different classes, you know.
It's like 2
So, but you move
courses
through the whole
each.
program with your class.
Okay.
If you pass.
If
each
someone
month.
fails a class, they just go back and repeat that month with whoever was coming into that month, you know?
Yeah.
So anyway, luckily we started the same time and never
Stayed on
failed
the same
classes.
track, yeah.
Brendon, in fact, had perfect attendance.
I knew you were going to bring that up. I knew you was going to bring that up.
Well, it's not easy.
Yeah, that's
amazing.
impressive.
Thank you.
Perfect attendance.
Perfect
in a whole
attendance at
2
Full
years.
Sail.
What's funny about that is it probably has not helped me at all in my career or
Right. They were saying like George Lucas only hires Full Sail grads who have perfect attendance.
Oh my gosh.
nah, never got a call.
No, but I think
George, no, but
He's
I
still
think
waiting,
when you
George.
his habit of it probably led to other
Exactly.
good habits.
when you
later
tell
in my
yourself,
life.
I'm going to
There
do
you go.
this because it's important to me and it's hard and other people aren't going to be able to do it, but I'm going to fucking do it.
Right.
And then you complete that task. Like that's big.
yeah.
That rewards you
That was cool.
in some way. And that was cool.
yeah,
So I
that
commend
was
you.
fun. I can at least say that.
You can at least say it on the podcast.
And it wasn't easy all the time. There was a couple times where I almost was late. I
Yeah.
was like, it's gonna be over.
Damn.
Oh my gosh.
So anyway, and
was
then
tough.
then we were
It
just
goes back
best
like
buds.
the calendar shifts 0 days since last incident.
Yeah,
You know, it's
exactly. If you would have just like, especially if it was that like last month, you know, and you would
Yeah.
just missed a class, like
The
oh
last week.
yeah, you just wake up late, like fuck. Oh man.
So it
That
sounds
would've
like,
been
I mean, I
brutal.
And
think
at that same orientation, I met Tato. I sat next to Tato at that orientation and ran into Brendon.
True.
And we all just started hella chilling.
Yeah.
that's awesome. I wonder, I know,
That was. Yeah.
I think that worked out for you. Obviously, I think probably both you guys were where you needed to be, but I know that Paul at least somewhat, well, what I'm trying to say, you didn't love high school, like school,
No.
the work or anything. Were you the same?
Right. Yeah.
It wasn't
definitely
like,
the same. I worked a lot harder at Full Sail and cared more about, the courses, and my grades were way better at Full Sail than
Because
they
you
were
cared, yeah.
in high school, because I was more interested and more engaged in what the work was.
cool.
Yeah, Full Sail was good in that way. There's a lot of bad things we could say about Full Sail, but like
For sure.
they're and maybe we will. But one of the good things, and they tell you this, they're like, just because you didn't do good in high school, like you might be a great student here, you know? That was the same for a lot of people, yeah.
Interesting.
It is
It's-
expensive. It is a private school. So, I mean, you either have to come from wealth or you're going to have lots of student loans, which I do have. But I think that's a lot of people these days.
Mm-hmm.
That's America in general. Schools are expensive. You either come from wealth and you're able to have school paid for, or you go to community college.
Yeah,
You figure
definitely.
out a way, but everyone has a different educational, I think, story.
Mm-hmm.
What was also
But-
cool about it is
yeah.
like no dorms.
Right.
Everyone's just living in like apartments and like condos, little like
But which was also why it can be expensive, because my
Sure.
loans
Yeah.
were covering the living expenses as well.
right. Yeah, yeah.
So like that's also what
with,
the kicker
even
was.
with the loans, would you do it differently? Or you love
I don't think so. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think because eventually, they will get paid off. I think it's just a part of earning it now, I guess, a little bit. Like, it was a blast, those 2 years down there. And, I don't think it's unfortunate that you have to that in hindsight, we didn't really know how bad loans could be, like what the interest rates could do. Or I also didn't know
they're
that
so predatory though.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen by accident. The lack of education that 18-year-olds have
Yeah.
entering college, and
Yeah.
they're like, "Oh, don't worry, you can have these loans." They lump them in with like the scholarships you earn,
Right.
so you don't even really, if you're not
And they're
paying
like, we'll help you
attention.
get a job too. Like, so don't even worry about those loans. you
They're
know?
low
We're
interest.
gonna get you a job.
Right,
And
you
you're
think
like,
all
"Oh
these
yeah, low
things are
interest.
gonna-
That's good.
Yeah.
I know I
go
need
a
that."
certain way, and you just never know. You can't plan for that. But yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah, I
We'll figure it
hesitate
out.
to tell someone they should like to recommend going to Full Sail,
Right.
but because like I would not change the fact that I went.
Yeah.
because like
I'm definitely glad I went.
Even just
I
hanging out with
mean,
you and
Sweet
Tato
Jones.
and Dan, yeah,
Sweet
like all
Jones.
the experience we had.
Like, there was a reason we all needed to be there at that
Yeah.
moment in time. I definitely feel that way. So that's why I feel like the loan stuff is so. It's kind of like the outside consequences of stuff. Like, there's other bigger things at play, and like if this is a little consequence over time that I have to kind of deal with, so what? Like
I always-
those
yeah.
2 years are worth whatever, whatever I got to do to kind of like
Yeah.
pay
regret.
that off. Or
Yeah,
I kind of looked at my loans like this, always the same way.
It's a little unfortunate, but at the end of the day, like I'm also fortunate to have had that experience. Like
Right. And the ways that it enriches your life, you can't even like quantify. And it's just sort of, it's just sort of the price tag of it. And you know, it's interesting because
like you can put a price on it. That's kind of just what
you can.
That price is in this world. But like, we know that there's like, that there was a bigger, like we all left having these relationships that like changed our lives forever. Like
I agree.
Completely. So, I mean, that's, how do you put a price on that?
That's priceless.
Yeah.
But the education does have a price,
right,
and it's
like
large. Turns out it's quite large.
The physical realities of having to do something like that are always going to have like, you know.
I wouldn't, is it like considered a trade school?
I always say I went to a trade school and like people are like, it's not a trade school.
It kind of is.
But it kind of is. It's like an entertainment industry trade school, kind of. It's not probably technically is one.
It's like an arts school,
but see,
it's like designed film game, but it's got gaming. It's like you can like learn how to be a game developer,
right? And like we didn't learn to play music. We took no classes on music performance, music composition.
Some on
it was
theory.
All the engineering.
We did have one
side
on
of it.
theory, but
right. We did take one music theory class.
Most part it was a very technical engineering side of it,
and it was like the campus was a strip mall that they bought out.
Yeah,
and then it eventually. They bought out the strip mall next to it also.
Full of speed bumps. So many speed bumps in that parking lot. Oh.
I had like a very opposite. I had a more traditional 4-year institutional experience.
In fact, those speed bumps probably almost made me late one day.
Oh, no. They slowed you down that well.
Or getting caught in like a torrential rainstorm there, you know, running into the buildings, right? Like,
do you remember one time
Florida.
Po Fong showed up like late? Po Fong was our friend from
was he
Thailand
or something?
No, he was like, sorry, I'm late. I got hit by a car.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no.
And the teacher's like, what? He's like, yeah, I just got hit by a car. I'm sorry, I'm late. And they're like, go to the doctor.
That. Yeah.
But like, it was so ingrained that like, you gotta show up. Like attendance is really important. If you don't get 90% attendance at Full Sail, you fail that class. So you at least have to get 90%. Brendon got 100.
Well, they know how to keep those butts in the chairs.
100.
Yeah. But man.
Anyways.
Did that feel fitting to you? Because I feel like I would have also felt out of place at a 4-year big college thing like that. But did you feel
it. I
at home?
nerded out. And
Good.
I went to a really large school. There's like 40,000 kids at my school.
Nice.
But I felt like I babysat for a professor's kids.
I definitely get it.
Like I had like this. It still felt cozy.
Good.
Good.
Know? I mean, different strokes for everybody.
I think so. I know it's interesting. Guys. Yeah, I think.
Yeah, everyone's different. Everyone wants kind of a different experience.
We have different takeaways though too. I'd be curious to know how you land on this, but like. You don't want to recommend higher education to people at this point because of the price tag, and I still feel compelled to recommend it.
I go back and forth with that.
Depends what you want to do. If you want to be a doctor, you got to go to school.
Right. There's going to always be certain professions that you would prefer that they went to school for 11 years.
Right.
A lot of people go to school for 7 years.
Yeah, they're called doctors. Is that a
like
niner
I'm cool
in there?
with that. Like if you, please keep doing that.
Like if you want to work in a recording studio, like we learned recording, audio engineering, which is like working in a studio. You can pay $60,000 to Full Sail, or go to a studio, give them $10,000, and say, like, I'm gonna hang out for the year. Show me stuff. I'll help you.
I'll be a fly on the wall.
I'll be a fly on the wall. Like, use me, work with me.
I'm
and then
here. Yeah,
you save $50,000, and probably by the end of that year, you'll have a job. You'll have connections. You'll already be working. Like
I agree 100%.
It makes so much more sense. Or if you want to tour with bands and run their sound, like pay a band. Be like, I'll pay you $5,000. Take me on tour.
Anyone, right?
Like
it's
there are some things. It depends on your job, but apprenticeship makes a lot more sense financially, and you'll get a better education in a lot of fields.
Well, you get hands-on education, which there's real value in, but there's also the truth that you're not going to know what kind of education to seek necessarily for yourself. Like that's the benefit of having a curriculum, having, a syllabus and a teacher that's going to lead you in instruction each month. It's
possibly, but
showing you what is
wanted to be
and letting you try on things you might not pick, you know?
Yes, that's true. there are benefits. There are benefits, but I hesitate
Stay in school,
to, you know,
kids. Don't listen to cool Uncle Paul over here.
think twice about it now. All right?
Listen to this man. Yeah, I agree. I think, it depends on what you see yourself doing.
Depends on what you want to do.
And also, I guess it's like a safety net for a lot of people too, maybe, like, because they're not sure what might happen. As long as they have this degree, they can, like...
Right. And I think a lot of kids say, like, to their parents, like, I don't know if I want to go to college. They're like, well, then you're going to be getting a job. Like, you're not going to be sitting around. Like, it's not going to be easy for you. Like, so someone's like, all right, I'll go to college for 4 years. That, like, delays my entry into real adulthood. I can be a kid for 4 more years, fuck around, and, like, then I'll have to grow up, you know?
When you graduated, did you feel like you knew exactly what to do next?
Definitely not.
Because I was clueless.
kind of,
I was like, I had a panic attack.
I had an idea, but definitely, like... I just knew kind of where I wanted to be just because I had an uncle that lived in LA and had been here for a while and had a guest house. So it kind of, I knew that I wanted to go to LA. Plus, it had been shoved in our heads at Full Sail that you had to go to these bigger markets to find a career to pay down the loans.
Right, yeah.
And
you got to get us our money.
Yeah. And so, they said, we'll help you get these jobs in these markets. So here's where you need to go. And then we'll help you get those jobs once you get there.
So you left. Did you just, was it
I went
right
home,
after?
I went home first back to Ohio.
For how long?
Just 3 months or so. Just that summer.
That summer,
Kinda.
the last summer of Brendon. And then you moved to LA with a job or without a job?
September 2010. No job.
No job, but your uncle was like, move out here.
Uncle.
You can live in my guest house. And
Thanks, Uncle Charlie.
Uncle
Love
Chuck.
you.
Fun uncles. He's like, you don't need grad school.
And Aunt Laura.
Come in my guest house.
I call her my West Coast mom.
Nice.
Laura.
Everybody wants one
Yeah,
of
that's
those.
good. That you
They're
had
great. I mean, they've been awesome to me and my siblings. They've always been helpful, helping us do stuff out here.
And then how quickly
awesome.
did you land something out here?
Not too long. A month or so.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
You and Martin are so good at getting jobs. I can't get a job, but
It wasn't always.
Are you kidding?
Not
100% perfect attendance. That is what
Exactly.
an employer wants to see.
Do you use that in your interview?
I mean, maybe I first had it on my resume, but as I went through, and it just became less and less. It got dropped off.
Yeah, you can
and
do
it
better than that.
Yeah, it was weird to have those things on your resume. I don't know.
Yeah.
I had to keep changing it, but yeah, it took maybe a month or two. But yeah, eventually found a gig. It was just like a music copyright kind of administration thing at this company called Music Reports in Woodland Hills. They're still kicking it. What's up, y'all? Yeah, they're very well known in the industry for doing a lot of copyright administration for labels and publishers and things like that. But pretty typical first job out of college. It was kind of just a cubicle gig, not too interesting, not too colorful. But I met some very cool people there as well. So I've met a lot of interesting people through these different jobs I've had out here. So that's been fun.
Did you?
But yeah, that was my first gig, and I was there for a year.
When you were going into Full Sail, was there a plan like, oh, I'll work in a studio, or this will help me promote my music? Brendon is also a great singer-songwriter.
Thanks, dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there was a mix of things. I kind of wanted to work on my own stuff. I was interested in that, but I was also I wanted to see behind the curtain of recording and engineering and the music industry and the business side. I was also kind of interested in, kind of being I always was a curator and a playlist maker and making mixed CDs and that type of person. So I didn't know how to get into A&R. I knew that was a kind of role, but even these days, I've never had that position because it is kind of an odd. It's hard to get into those roles if you don't work in that area or don't have the right label connections.
A&R is someone who works for a label and they're out there trying to find bands to then
traditionally
say to the label, you got to check out Tame Impala, this little band I saw, you got to sign them.
Right.
That's what A&R does.
That is a dream job for
or they
somebody who loves
connect
music.
all the right people together to make a hit song, essentially. So I was always kind of interested in that aspect of things. So I was like, well, I'll go to this school and get a collection of these different skills and we'll see what I can put to use once I, get to LA. But yeah, it was a mix of like, I wanted to be able to be better at doing my own music and stuff, but yeah.
So what's out music-wise? What can we listen to?
I actually just put some old stuff on Spotify. My like first EP of like just acoustic solo singer-songwriter stuff.
Cool. Super
so
cool.
It's just as Brendon Goldwasser.
Wonderful.
Yeah. So I was originally Brendon Ross. My middle name's Ross, but these days I'm like, I like my name, full name. We'll go with that.
I do the same.
Yeah. Before I was like trying to be like an artist. So I mean,
Yeah,
use
you
my
did.
called
middle
him
name.
Don Ross.
Yeah.
If it's like Brendon Ross,
Yeah,
or like
'cause my
Don Ross. Let's go
first
with
name
that.
is Brendon.
Hey, no shame in a stage name, but
So,
I
yeah.
hear you.
I like the Don Ross too every now and then. Maybe I'll do an EP called the Don Ross EP.
There you go.
And that's like a character for that EP.
There you go.
Yeah.
I want to watch that.
But yeah,
I
so
wanna
there's
watch
that, and then
saga.
the AUH2O. That was my more electronic kind of a mix of like guitar stuff and like beats and stuff that I would mess around with. So I've got that stuff on Spotify as well now.
Fun,
And
all
all
right.
other streaming services. But yeah, I need to put some more out
Cool.
there.
Same. And
What
yes,
else?
you do. So in high school, were you a guy? Did people give you their iPods to load up music for them? Were you that guy?
Kind of. I was more I just like I had a few friends where we would just like download a lot of like we would just hang out and like LimeWire, download just music together and just like listen to as much stuff as we could and just mix CDs and share that with each other. And then I just always liked discovering new music.
Napster
It's
was like
always
great.
been
I mean,
fun.
it was before that, but like you guys remember the days
Yeah,
of Napster, just
sure.
getting whatever you wanted.
Definitely.
It was the best.
Yeah, it was exciting.
It was so exciting. I just like you always shared a computer with like all of your siblings, your whole family. It took so long to do anything, but it was just
Yeah,
I also remember we had this old Gateway computer, and my dad had this encyclopedia program, and it had all these old. It was like this CD, you'd put it in, and it had all these old clips from like music, like old 50s and old 40s and 30s, old timey. It was just really weird. It was like an encyclopedia kind of program. But that we like messed around with that. So I remember just watching a lot of old stuff on that.
it's like the best little bit of samples
Old movie
ever.
clips.
yeah,
Yeah.
probably
it
would be
was-
killer to
so
sample
cool.
all that.
Yeah, you're right.
Oh my god, give that
Actually,
to Eric or something.
there's a lot of stuff in the public domain that you should
Yeah.
explore to sample.
Eric used to do that. There's a website that's
Yeah.
like public domain,
And that just
whatever.
essentially means that
I would love
it's
to do
over
that with
100
you one
years
time.
old.
Just like
Yeah, or like 170 or maybe 70 years, I forget. But the copyright has run out, so now
Yeah.
it just falls into public domain, and anyone can use it.
Wow.
super cool.
Yeah, we could do a whole public domain album,
We should. That
Call it
sounds
public
fun.
domain.
I love
PD.
history.
PD.
Let's make it
So when did you
history.
start writing music?
High school. Yeah. Started like just writing my own songs in high school, but mostly just
What were
was
they
playing
about,
covers.
girls or-
Yeah, girl stuff.
Yeah.
Love songs,
Achy breaky heart stuff?
bigger life. Yeah.
I mean,
Achy breaky.
Jack Johnson. I feel
Jack
like was a big influence.
Yeah. I listened to
I was
a
into
lot of
him
like
a
Dave
lot.
Matthews.
Same, because you were from Ohio. That's
Yeah.
what people from the
Come on,
Midwest do.
G-Love.
They live in
Yeah,
Dave
G-Love,
Matthews.
Rusted Root, you
Yeah,
know,
there
send me
you
a
go.
weep.
Yeah.
Dude, that
Send me a
song
mob.
still
It
is.
slaps.
Yeah,
That's
that is
such a
good.
good song.
Yeah, 90s music in general had a definitely huge influence. Just like,
What was like, what's your favorite band? Like, what's your like,
band or like
whatever, just
most,
your.
well, Daft Punk is number one.
love
Like
Daft
act.
Punk.
If
Wait,
there's
we
like an
have-
act.
Damn. I used to listen to them to like get jazzed up for soccer games. I'm all about that. We have similar tastes.
Paul
in
knows.
this.
Daft Punk?
Yeah.
Nice. Daft Punk. Well, we were also at the same Daft Punk show at Lollapalooza.
And didn't even know.
And we didn't know each
that was
other.
well before.
But we found out like
Wow.
while we were at school, like I was at that show too.
You
'Cause
guys.
They had,
2007.
they had a pyramid on stage, and they're just like up in the top of the pyramid. It's like this giant pyramid.
the Alive tour.
It was
You guys are
really,
soulmates.
really cool.
Basically.
We are soulmates.
Definitely.
We are soulmates.
The universe was like,
Sorry.
It's okay. I'm not threatened.
No, there's such a love affair happening here.
It's a
It's been
different
happening
form.
for years.
yeah.
But at that Daft Punk
insane.
show, I used to tell this story all the time, but somebody behind me was just doing the shovel
Oh, yeah.
the entire show. Like
That's dedication.
the whole show, just just doing the shovel.
Is that a Daft Punk move?
No, it was just this guy's move
For that show.
for that show. I don't know, man. It was just. I had never seen someone.
I bet he was
dig
so
such a
sore
hole.
the next day. You know,
Yeah,
She's like,
he's like,
I
"My
haven't.
shoulders."
What did I do? Oh yeah, I
Friends are like,
shoveled
"Yeah,
for
dude,
shovel."
7 hours straight.
Like, had he
I air
actually
shoveled.
been digging, he would have gotten so deep. Like, it was. But anyway, that show was amazing.
Yes.
Oh.
Definitely a life-changing moment as well. Like that moment made me want to be more involved in music.
Nice.
And just want
That
to,
is
like-
so cool.
Yeah.
Was that your turn to like?
show.
I want to do electronic things as well.
It just like made me want to be involved in music. It didn't matter. Yeah, it was just like it just flipped.
Like I
Yeah,
can't,
gotta
I
do
can't
it.
sit on the
Like-
sideline, guys.
Yeah, it was like
put me
music.
in, coach.
Right.
Music is where it's at. It's just
Send me on
I
my
was just
way to music.
I want music to be a part of my life every day,
Yeah,
every single day.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Fuck yeah.
I was like,
music. It is one of the greatest things in this world.
It's beauty. It's a beautiful thing.
I love it. I love it so much.
What are some of the other great shows you've seen?
Other great shows.
Like, what else was at Lollapalooza that year? Was that like Kanye West?
G Love that year was pretty good. No, I saw my.
So was Arcade
maybe,
Fire there?
Maybe, yeah.
I think I saw G Love instead of Arcade Fire, and I regret it.
My Morning Jacket, I think, was there. You know what's funny? Lady Gaga was a small, tiny name
Ooh.
Oh,
at Lala.
I think the Black Keys were a small name there too.
Yeah.
I saw that.
Who else?
Cake?
Was Pearl Jam there? Pearl Jam was there. I think.
Oh, was that like the Pixies and Primus also and
Yeah.
stuff?
Ooh.
Yeah. Fucking Lollapalooza was so.
Pearl
when
Jam
that
was
started
cool.
showing up in Chicago, that was just like our.
Yeah, I
gift.
think Pearl Jam brought out a bunch of people. Like Ben Harper came on at the end of their encore, and
Damn.
like Dennis Rodman was there.
Yeah, nice.
You know, it was just one of those like,
Yeah.
anyone is everyone.
Yeah.
Get on stage.
Who's this now? Rosie O'Donnell. Wow.
Like I think the Roots too. Like Pearl Jam just brought out everyone. The Roots were there that year.
At Lala?
Yeah, I remember seeing them.
Lala or Bonnaroo? Lala.
Lava.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a pretty
The year
all-star lineup.
Bonnaroo, Chris Rock. Wait.
Chris Rock opened for
Jam was it-
Metallica.
Oh yeah, Chris
Pearl-
Rock opened up for Metallica.
Pearl Jam was at Bonnaroo too.
Two,
One of those
yeah.
years. Was that year?
Maybe Pearl Jam wasn't at Lala. Pearl Jam
I
was.
think
at,
you might be. Yeah, maybe they're at both.
Pearl Jam was
Who
at
knows?
Bonnaroo, definitely.
I saw the Roots at Bonnaroo.
Jack Johnson opened up for Pearl Jam,
Yeah, that's right.
and I was like, yeah, banana pancakes.
I saw
Make
the
a banana
Roots. I think at that that
Classic.
Bonnaroo, and that changed my life. That really was a life changing thing.
Who? I'm sorry. What?
The Roots.
Oh yeah.
Because they did like this medley of like every hit song from that year, but played it better.
Right.
And like
They're amazing.
the show
still
just
amazing.
blew my mind. It just blew my. And then they did some like James Brown, and then they did like a Justin Timberlake thing, and then they did like This Is Why I'm Hot.
I would
and
say
it,
they're,
like,
they're
it was-
definitely one of the best bands I've
it was-
seen live. And
it
I've
was
seen, and I
insane.
saw them out in LA once too. But
Yeah.
that definitely even put them more up there. I was like, yeah.
So
The
then
Roots
our
are up
band,
there for sure.
our band in Orlando, the Sweet Jones Family Band, we
Yeah.
wanted to be like the Roots. And because of that medley I saw the Roots do, we would do medleys.
We would
And
try to
we
build
opened
our
up
own
this
medleys,
poetry
yeah.
show. We were the house band for this poetry show. And we would open up the show with like a medley of like hip hop songs.
Yeah, some
It was
cool
all
like
'cause of
90s
that Roots
stuff,
show.
R&B stuff,
Yeah.
like 2000
Nice, guys.
stuff.
It was-
Yeah.
Play it
That was-
back.
It was super fun.
Paul was a great band leader.
I believe it.
I guess I was a band leader.
Yeah.
Got those bright
You
eyes.
really-
He's driven.
I always
He's driven.
admired that. You were just good at, you just like, when it was time to practice, you just like got every, you know, if like the chit chat got, you know, you like kept everybody,
Wow, that's funny.
you know,
Yeah.
not all the time. It was hard to keep us under control, obviously, but
Well, you know, I got Milton and
Dan,
Dan. I mean,
between Martin and
crazy
I,
characters.
we got,
But you need crazy characters.
Yeah.
No, that was so fun, man.
yeah.
That was like,
but you were good at like finding opportunities and getting everybody to like,
yeah.
let's just play together and let's go do these things.
That's funny,
'Cause
yeah.
It's like,
Like
good
I
to
didn't
play
feel
together.
like the leader. It just felt like it was my house.
I mean,
was
I
where
wouldn't
we
have played
came.
as much if you didn't
But yeah, I
like get
guess
everybody,
maybe,
if you
yeah.
didn't get us all together enough.
Cool.
Yeah. So you were definitely
I love it. Yeah, man, that was
influential.
That was,
That was so fun. Such a
real
fun moment in time. I wish I had taken better care of my ears though.
Yeah,
We
that's
just
probably
played-
mostly my fault.
We just played so loud.
Well, when we moved in, I've told you this before, but it was this townhouse that I was staying at with Adam. Shout out to my brother Adam. Adam
What up,
watches all the
Adam?
episodes. Adam, love you.
Miss you, dude.
but there was both townhouses next to us were empty. So it was like till 3 a.m. We were like just going crazy.
I don't think they
Grateful
were empty
Dead.
by accident.
Poor Adam.
They cleared out.
By accident.
Yeah, no, I don't know. We either got lucky or they left. Yeah.
They're like,
It was like, that a
what is
drum
that?
set?
Is that
Like,
a second
there
drum
goes the
set?
neighborhood.
I am out.
Yeah. Now, Adam would jam with us a lot too. But then also sometimes he didn't want to, and I think we were a nuisance to him sometimes. So also sorry.
Yeah.
Shout out and sorry. But man, what a fucking era.
For sure.
So then you came out here, you got that job.
Yeah.
And then I guess I didn't run into you till 2012 when I was out here.
Yeah.
Ran into you in Venice. And that was like...
That had been...
Did we just run into each other? I didn't call you.
Yeah.
That's what happens with soulmates. They're like magnets.
Right.
They just find each other in the crowd.
You just had been out there doing
We
something.
were performing.
You
We'd
were
perform every
performing.
Saturday. We would get there early because it's like first come, first serve. So we'd be on Venice
who
Boardwalk.
was out there?
JC,
Yeah,
Nelson.
JC, yeah.
We had a whole thing going out there.
And I'm trying to remember. Maybe I worked over there at the time.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's fucking fun.
Crazy. So I saw you there. Then I moved out of my uncle's into like the city with my friend Josh Diamond. What up, Josh? We had a good time.
Shout outs.
We had a good time living together. And then he bounced from LA and I ended up living with my sister Blaine for a minute when she was in LA. She's up in Oakland now. Actually, she just moved to Berkeley area with her boyfriend. Cool. What's up, Blaine? So yeah, we had a fun time. I was living in Blaine's living room. That was, I just like moved all my stuff in there, and because I was in between gigs at the time, and then I found a job at A&R Worldwide, and I was like an executive assistant to this guy, and that was a tough experience. It was interesting.
What about it was tough?
It was fun, but it was definitely like those are very intense positions, like executive assistant / personal assistant. Like you need to be very, very on top.
Basically like human bitch.
Of your, yeah. It's tough.
That's what it is, but they can't put that on the application.
It was fun at times, but definitely like I was not cut out for it because I didn't last, Eventually I got let go because I was making mistakes and it just wasn't, I was dropping the ball too many times, I guess, for, to work for this guy.
That's what it said on the pink slip, at least.
Yeah. And I still admire this guy, Sat Bisla. If you don't know who he is, he's an incredible person. I mean, I learned a lot from him. He's just not an easy person to work for. I definitely still love the guy. He's super smart. He's been in the industry a very long time. He's definitely earned, whatever reputation he has, but he's, definitely a smart guy. And I learned a lot while I worked for him, but I was not cut out to be.
And when you got fired,
executive assistant.
Did you get fired?
Yeah, I did, essentially.
So when you got let go, what was your thought? Like, oh man, I guess that's just not my thing, or you're like, God, I suck.
It was a mix. I mean, I definitely kind of felt like I had ruined an opportunity. Sometimes I still kind of do, but it led to other better opportunities, which is what I've realized across a few of my different like jobs out here. Like, no matter how they've ended, sometimes they've always led to a better opportunity. Yeah. Like it's always pushed the needle into a different, better direction most of the time. Good. And so, yeah, I don't have any regrets. I'll say that. Like it's just not healthy to live with regrets. Like you don't know things all the time. Like I was definitely still young and naive working, I still had these assumptions about the industry. I still thought that like, I wanted to be this certain kind of thing. And, I was just young. I was just young and naive and learning. Yeah. So that's just
Who was harsher, your boss or yourself to yourself?
Probably just myself.
Yeah.
Myself, yeah.
Right, but that's a hard place to do work,
I haven't kept in touch with him in a minute, but I've tried to keep that a relationship because I don't want any, there is no hard feelings, like. Of course. He's running a business. If I was messing up, you should let people go. You should hire more than you should hire quicker and then be more comfortable firing people, I think.
Right. Yeah. Especially for something like that. Like, it's not a fit. Like, I mean, you got to give people a chance a
I
little
was
bit,
trying.
I guess.
Yeah, he definitely gave me,
Yeah.
2 or 3 chances, and
Yeah.
I still kind of would occasionally just drop the ball, or
Yeah.
there were just times where I just wasn't as committed as I think he needed someone to be.
For me, I remember like,
But it's still a great experience overall,
Yeah.
and I met a lot of cool people. I got to like travel overseas with him. Like he took me to London and Scotland, but on that trip, I just wasn't as like on it as he needed me to be. So there was just stuff like that where, these higher execs, they just need a certain kind of person, a certain personality that I just wasn't at the time.
right. And maybe you're not today, and like that's okay.
Right.
That's even great. Maybe he wouldn't even necessarily be good at that job. He's good at his job.
Right.
If he was someone's assistant,
Yeah.
would he be so great? Like
Right.
when I was in my like early 20s or whatever, I thought like you have to be able to do that stuff. You have to be able to like put on a suit and work and like be like a businessy guy. Mm-hmm. But now I realize like I'm just not that guy. And
Right.
like so that's fine. That's
Yeah.
great. I don't want to be that guy. Like
It's true. You learn your strengths.
Yeah.
You learn like what you want to.
Like some
What you wanna
environments
do.
are too high stress for like, certain people.
Yeah.
Like I'm kind of like that.
Yeah, it was
The
very
highest-
regimented. I mean,
Yeah.
I'd do everything with him almost. I mean, I'd get up early, we'd have breakfast together, we'd go on like walks in the morning, and he was a mentor to some extent. Like he was trying to be a mentor and teach me things, and that was cool, But it was long days,
And how old were you at this point?
23, 20, yeah, 22,
Oh gosh, yes.
22,
Such a
23.
baby. Yeah.
Right. It's just a little baby
Like
boy.
a
when you
baby
think about
bouncing
it.
off the walls.
I mean,
still.
if I was 21, yeah, 23-ish, around there. So yeah, still fresh out of college, kind of still trying to figure it out. But then, I mean, essentially getting let go from there was the best thing that ever happened to me because it landed me a job at Zephyr, which was a startup in Venice, which is where I met some of my best friends in LA, like some of the coolest people. You know who you are. And so, yeah, that whole gang, like that just catapulted a completely different trajectory for me out here because it got me into the whole YouTube world and like short form content and like claiming and just like tech startup world. And like I had never been involved in any of that until I got the gig at Zephyr, and it just kind of opened my eyes to that whole side of things. Oh, there's like startups and all these investments, and now like all these businesses are being built off of YouTube and all this different
Right. That was
stuff.
when like
Whole
the
new world.
influencer boom was just starting. It didn't even exist.
So
at
this
that
was
time.
2012,
Yeah.
2013.
So like you didn't have influencers. There was no Vine. I mean,
Right.
Vine
There
is
were
where all
like
these people
there
came
were
from.
people following YouTube channels,
Right.
and that was getting much bigger. And then also what was getting big, which was why Zephyr existed, was people uploading movie clips. So like it was movieclips.com, and then they rebranded as Zephyr. And I think Movie Clips still has a thing, but they got bought by Fandango, so that brand is now doing the whole Movie Clips kind of thing. But because Zephyr noticed, well, Movie Clips, essentially the two guys that started that, they noticed everyone was uploading their favorite movie clips onto YouTube, but the movie studios were taking them down, and they saw an opportunity to say, hey, these are your fans. Let them keep these up and you can monetize.
Right. You'll just get the ad
Yeah,
revenue.
just get the ad revenue. These are just fans that are, that just want to upload. Don't take them down. You can make money off of this. So that was
Exploit
their,
them.
Yeah, that was their business model. So that's
Smart.
was Movie Clips, and then Zephyr built on that to do other sorts of claiming for labels and stuff. So that's the job I got there, was doing just like content claiming, which is pretty much on YouTube. It's just like finding content that third parties or other, user generated content that people have uploaded, of copyrighted material that they don't own. So we would go and just find that stuff and kind of claim it on behalf of Warner Music Group or Sony or Universal.
You're like
So
a bounty
kind of
hunter.
kind of a
Yeah.
music.
I
Well,
love
now in
it.
a lot of
Bounty
ways
hunter
that's
on YouTube.
automated,
Yeah, like
right?
time
Like,
to pay
Nowadays,
up.
Content ID picks up a lot of that automatically. Sometimes you still need like a manual check, which
Sure.
is, sometimes why you got to have people. But yeah, so that's what we were doing, that just in a warehouse in Venice.
did you work for Maker or Full Screen?
Yeah, Maker. So I went from Zephyr to Maker,
Okay.
and then I was at Maker for a very long time, like 4 years through Disney.
And what were you
acquiring
doing?
Maker? Similar
Okay.
things like
Okay.
content operations side of things, like content claiming.
Okay. Content claiming.
Yeah.
So they're like, you do good with content claiming at Zephyr. Like, we need a guy like that over here at Maker.
Yeah, and I was trying to move around and do other stuff.
Maker
too,
was a
so-
company that managed YouTubers. One of the first
were kinda
companies
like
to
a-
sort of manage people's different YouTube accounts.
Yeah,
Almost like a talent agency for YouTube.
yeah. So there's Full Screen, who still operates. Studio 71 right now is another.
Are they still
one.
in business?
They
Studio
are.
71?
Yeah, they've kind of.
I thought they got swallowed up by somebody else.
I don't think they might have bigger investments from.
How do you feel about
guns, but-
MCNs in general? I've always felt like they're bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on. I guess. Yeah, I think it's probably getting harder for them to like sell their services.
Yeah.
because it's
Probably anything
but-
like that. Like talent agencies, I bet it's even harder for them nowadays.
Yeah,
You know, it's like, why do I
'Cause
need you? Like, this guy DM'd me that he wants me in his movie, so I'll just go
Right.
be in the movie.
Things are so much more
I don't know.
direct.
Like, yeah. People can.
yeah. And you can build your own team these days however you want. Like maybe you don't need to sign with an agency. Maybe you just need to find the right people. So you're right. There's like so many different. It might be becoming harder for them to be like, you need to be with us to be
Right.
successful.
Right.
Like that is
Do I?
definitely becoming harder. To
Same with
like-
record labels too.
Yeah.
Like, do I?
I mean, now I still feel like certain record labels will always have the like historical like reputation that people will want to be involved with. Like, like I want to be on Atlantic Records. Like I've just always loved everything they put out. Like I feel like maybe if you're an artist and you want that, that's okay. But yeah, it's definitely not for everybody. Like maybe if you found the right label. I don't know. How do you feel? Like
I feel like if I can pull it off without a label, that's preferred.
yeah.
If a label's gonna help me,
Yeah, I agree.
you know, I mean, a label's a bank, right? So they'd say, hey,
You might as well just find another way to
yeah, like maybe I could just find an investor
an independent.
and then not have somebody
Yeah.
try to get like 20% of my
Some weird
merch or
contract.
something, you know, like,
Right.
yeah, just like make it so much easier. Like,
I agree.
I would never want someone to be like, you owe me an album. And I'd
Right.
be like,
you see that?
dude, like,
Yeah,
what do you
any
want
of
from me,
that
dude?
is
Like, I'm just
stupid.
myself, you
I
know,
hate
like,
that,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but it could be that great album that, to the ex-wife or whatever.
Hear My Dear.
Yeah, Hear My Dear.
It's a Marvin Gaye album. Have you heard about that album? We have it on vinyl.
Okay.
I'll play it after this.
Please
but
do.
But
in-
his wife owned the rights in the divorce.
In
and
his divorce, she got the rights to his next album. So
It's weird.
Marvin Gaye's
Wow.
next album has like no hits on it. It's called Hear My Dear.
It's like
And it's-
intentionally.
Yeah.
No hits.
And it's like all about like he's like
Is it like half-assed?
it's kind of half-assed, but it's awesome.
good. Well, yeah, because
There's no hits, but he's saying like
doing like
what happened? Like, we used to be so in love. Like, he's kind of talking shit the whole time. And, like, there's a song called, like, Anger. Like, it's very interesting. But,
Nice.
but yeah, she owned the rights to his upcoming album.
that's amazing.
It was an odd little thing. But, yeah, with things like that, I would love to find a way to not need it,
Yeah, I agree.
you know? Or at the very least,
Why? Yeah,
do, like, what they taught us in school is, like, do everything a label does already. Then when you talk to a label, you're like, look, I barely need you. I just need some money, or I just
This
need
thing.
some marketing, or like, just give me, this is all I need.
distribution or something.
But like,
Yeah.
versus just like, I don't know what I'm doing.
honestly,
like, help me out. Like, they'll be like, oh, I'll help you. Like,
like
here's
going to talk to a
$10,000. Give me all the
car
rights to your
salesman.
music.
I feel like PR companies are almost better
Right.
than labels these days.
a
They're
PR
almost
company
new
and a
label.
booking agent. Maybe that's all you need. See,
Right.
booking agents, maybe that's the agency that
Yeah,
you do need, or that
exactly.
I would, because
Yeah,
planning a tour and
definitely
booking
when
a
live
tour is-
music
yeah, it's a
comes
lot.
back.
yeah,
Definitely booking
yeah.
agent.
So, but yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, I'd love to find a way to not do it. I mean, Chance the Rapper. What am I doing? What's wrong with my voice?
Ramper.
Chance the Rapper. Chance the Rapper had no label. Still has no label.
Right.
The
Just
first
had a good
artist to win a
manager.
Grammy, completely
Oh,
independent.
that's
Yeah, just
cool.
had a good manager, and like had hype around them. And they're like, all right. They met with labels, but they're like, I think we could do this ourselves, and they did.
true.
And like,
It is true.
I'd prefer that, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm trying to do it that way. If a label
Go
came
for
along
it,
with the
yeah.
right thing, I mean, like when Post Malone signed with a label, they gave him like so much money. They gave him this huge signing bonus.
Right.
I think non-recoupable signing bonus. Like they just like, because other labels wanted him. So they're like,
Damn.
here's a shit ton of money. Like,
Yeah.
hang out with this. Like that could be persuasive to me, you know?
Right.
But if we're just talking about like, give us rights to your shit.
Oh,
Let's
no.
do a 360
That's such
deal.
a big topic these
because
days.
we're
Yeah,
gonna
no one's-
help you. And then I can't put stuff out without their approval now and all this shit.
Yeah.
It's not interesting to me.
No.
So I'd love to avoid it. But
100%.
I
hope you do.
I'm intrigued and I wouldn't
Yeah.
necessarily turn it down depending on the deal. But
Dope.
we'll see. I've got the Passman music business book, the
same.
new edition.
Yeah. I just got that too recently.
But I'm only like 60 pages into it. But
it's a good book to just have around, and you don't need to read it. What's the word? Consecutively, or
you don't need to read it all at the same time.
you don't need to
No.
read all the words at the same time.
You can read it backwards. It still makes sense. Just
No, like,
No, you don't need to read it each chapter in a row.
sequentially.
Sequentially.
sequentially. English major.
What did I say? Consequentially?
Yeah, you were close.
Consecutively.
You were close. Consecutively. I know what
Coincidingly.
you meant.
Coincidentally.
Concordantly. You don't
I
need to do
butcher
it.
words a lot, so I follow. This.
Commotionally?
Commotion.
That's not right.
Conmotionally. It's when your emotions move
When they go
in a
right.
certain
Motion,
same way.
commotion. Isn't that a song?
emotional commotion.
Yeah. That's a good. We should write one.
We should write one.
Emotional commotion.
Emotional commotion.
Emotional commotion. What's your potion?
Yeah, that's something.
It's like
right?
conjunction junction was what I was hearing.
Or like
Yeah.
sensual seduction, the Snoop Dogg song.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Or
okay.
sexual eruption. I think it was the actual version.
Yeah. Sorry, kids.
Yeah, not back to the show.
Earmuffs.
Earmuffs, kids. This is a tough one. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, that's what I like that about the world. That it's more just whatever you have, put it out.
yeah,
you
you
have
can
all
find
these.
your own-
You can, and people can find you.
Find what works for you.
Okay,
Yeah.
guys. Okay, musical guys. Are either of you putting music out on TikTok?
Nope, I'm not at the
Do
moment.
people do that?
No.
Yeah,
People
well,
do that.
I mean, yeah, bands have strong presences on TikTok, and
I know
it does
you
help them.
use YouTube. Do you put stuff out on YouTube?
No.
You said Spotify. Where else?
Yeah, I'm just on I just use DistroKid. So whatever service like Apple Music.
Gotcha.
I use TuneCore, but it's probably similar.
Yeah. I think DistroKid is better.
You think so?
Oh, it's on.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah, Paul and I historically have always had a hard time keeping a straight face when trying to be serious. When we know we're both joking, we'll get better as we get older, but it's always been a challenge, which is fun.
Yeah.
Or you'll care even less as you get older.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll get harder. It's always like,
To go from the smile to the straight face
yeah,
is
it's tough. Well, yeah, so, like if I could have any superpower, obviously I would choose like flight or something. But if I just had to choose a simple one, it would be to be able to keep a straight face no matter what. Because imagine how funny you could really be if you just never
broke.
broke. Like,
My mind went to like hostage negotiation, but you're like, I could really nail that joke.
yeah,
That's what your superpower would be, to make more people laugh. I mean, it's applicable. I mean, admirable. But,
admirable.
Yeah.
But that's so funny.
I mean, I would choose. There was a lot of things I would choose before that, but it would be a good one.
They would.
You're like,
It would be
Patch Adams
just,
over here.
yeah, just to listen. See, I can't do it at all. Let's try.
I guess you could.
Let's try.
You
But
could
we can't be talking
scam
about
people.
it.
No,
It's
we-
got to happen naturally. Like when
Okay,
we're
let's-
talking about the act of doing it, it's
Right,
going to be
right.
too hard.
So what if we just have a very serious, angry conversation?
Station? No.
What?
This is good, serious. 3,
All
2,
right.
1.
Listen here, you son of a bitch.
It's not going to work. We'll bring
I
it.
knew he was cracking.
It'll
I knew he
have
was
to
gonna break.
happen another time, another way.
Listen. I feel like Martin's pretty good at it.
He
It
is.
takes
He's
some
really good
practice.
at it. Did that all come from that Chris Farley bit? Because we always say
Maybe.
like, you son of a
You
bitch.
son of
We
a-
say that a lot. You know the Chris Farley thing where the guy's like,
You're drinking
Yeah, like-
decaffeinated coffee
yeah, like,
crystals. Yeah.
He's like, what?
what?
sir, you're not drinking real coffee. These are decaffeinated coffee crystals. He's like, you son of a bitch. And then
You lied to me.
Yeah,
And he just destroys this guy.
That's, I think, my favorite Chris Farley sketch.
That might be what. I mean, Martin and I still do that shit for
No,
sure.
when I text Martin, like, it's just like, you son of a bitch. Like, we write that so much.
And yeah, we'll definitely try to do the serious stuff. He's definitely very good at it. Though.
He's much better. Dan, I feel like, is pretty good at that, too.
He is.
All right.
Very
so
good.
what would your superpower be?
So we're on superpowers.
He's going to be making everybody laugh with the impeccable
be-
poker face.
Yeah, poker face.
You'd be banned from Vegas so quick. They'd be like, not this guy.
Flying would be cool.
Well, yeah, see, I would choose
No,
flying.
but being a chameleon
You can't have it all.
would be cool.
Being
Like-
a chameleon.
Well, if
Like,
I could, if I
like
could
a shapeshifter.
shapeshifter.
Ah.
If I could, sure. If I could I'm not sure if I could transform into any human.
It's like you could be Brad Pitt.
Yeah. Or if I could be an animal too. I don't know.
How
It would
you
be
use
handy.
this?
It's like in
Animorphs.
Mulan. Did you see the shapeshifter in
animals,
Mulan?
but
gotta be
also humanorphs.
Humanorphs. So
Wow.
just like a Mystique from...
Change your face.
Mystique, but I could be anything or anyone.
Oh, so like
Even
a
any
squirrel.
object too. I could all of a sudden just be a lamp if I wanted.
Whoa.
Whoa.
And how would
A
you use this
lamp?
power?
That's
I
not
don't
alive,
know.
though. It would have to be a living object,
Okay, a
don't
living
you think?
object?
I think that's where
No, it's his superpower.
I'm objecting.
He wants to be a lamp.
I
Trees are living.
object.
I could
Trees
be
are
a tree.
living.
You could be a tree.
It's okay.
Trees alive.
Objects that are living then.
An
so just
organism,
living
I
things.
like
So
it.
flowers or stuff.
Fine.
Sure.
But
Yeah.
yeah, so I could just
How would you-
transform.
Okay.
Maybe
So you could become a tree right now.
what else? I mean, how would I
you
use that?
it? Yeah.
Well, okay, if I was Brad Pitt,
Get laid.
yeah, I mean, like,
Hella fucking laid. Yeah.
or any, like, yeah,
Any of that. Or like, if you're going to a bar,
or-
just turn into Bill Murray and everyone
Right.
will give you free drinks.
yeah,
You know,
or
like,
Woody Harrelson, or
yeah.
or just turn into a tiger and fuck someone's shit up. You know, like,
Oh, yeah.
You
like
could
a
turn into
bear.
like
Right.
Mark Zuckerberg and visit his ATM. You know, you
Exactly,
could do all
things like
sorts
that.
of things.
Right.
Could be a
or like
bank
Elon
robber
Musk, and then I
of
can just like
identities.
walk on any airplane and like do whatever I want, or like
Right.
just like become this status, just up the status whenever I want, or
Right.
lower it and be, like inconspicuous.
That's right. You have the
You know?
option. Because Elon Musk, he can't just walk
Right.
around.
Sure, no.
But you could just
Quite a burden.
turn back to...
So that could be cool
Be him.
to kind of be able to like shapeshift and be a different person if I want to be.
Yeah. Would you want to
know.
turn into a chick and get banged
Whoa.
as a chick?
That's weird. No,
You wouldn't
come
even try it once?
on. You're not going to give it a try?
I don't know. That's like a different.
If you turned yourself into a chick,
That-
what
so
chick
if
would
I
you turn
said
yourself
yes
into?
to that, that would be more like I'm thinking of getting like a sex change or something, right?
No.
There'd
I'm
be
just
like
trying
bigger.
it out.
Not
There'd be
that
like
serious?
bigger.
If I did have the
if I wanted the
shape-shifting, I would
if
I
I
would try
wanted
it
the
all.
superpower for that,
Oh, no. Of
then
course.
that would be like a.
But you have the
Brendon's kind of-
superpower,
Just
so you might as well
It's all right. Just ask. Just do what you want.
try.
Sure.
So what chick would you turn into?
That's a weird question.
Wow, it is. I like it.
And what dude would you have bang you? Like, you know,
So what?
Okay.
That's
Yeah. No. Please. Let's
I'm trying to
put
think
it on
about
the
it
table.
now. If I could be a chick like Sofia Vergara or something,
Really?
she's pretty hot.
Yeah.
Nah, but
That's who,
who would I want to
That's who your
bang me?
spirit animal is in woman form. Sophia Vergara.
Ooh,
I don't know.
Gal Gadot.
You turn into Gal Gadot.
She's
Wonder
a hottie.
Woman.
Now I like that answer.
Wonder Woman,
I like Sophia.
nice Jewish girl.
Right?
Yeah.
Israeli.
Yeah.
So, would you have Jason Momoa bang you, or would you have like like Adam Driver bang you? You know, like what's your type?
If I was
If you were a shapeshifter and shifted into
into
Gal
Gal
Gadot,
Gadot, what would my type be?
what dude would
Yeah.
you want to fuck you? Just to try it once, just to know what it's like.
John Malkovich.
That's a good answer.
John Malkovich.
If Gal Gadot, you turn into Gal Gadot, you knock on
It's
Malkovich's
just
door,
so
you say,
weird.
"You want to fuck
I
me?"
just gave everybody
He's gonna
that
say
image now.
yes.
Of Malkovich and Gal Gadot. Sorry.
No, I'll take it. Yeah, I would try. Like, if I could shapeshift, I would try all the different things.
So
be a
Sophia
real like. What's it like to be a really
and then who
overweight
comes
person?
along?
Right.
Who? Well, no, I don't know if I'd go with Sophia Vergara.
I'd be like Arnold Schwarzenegger for a day. Just like have fun talking like him.
Oh yeah, you get
That'd
the
be
voice too.
Yeah, you know,
Yeah.
accents would be fun. I could switch to like an Italian,
And
be
you
like,
could-
be like my friend Nico.
You do a few of them to like go to their ATM, pull out like $1 million, then turn back into Brendon, buy a house. So then at least like you're sort of gathering assets as well
Exactly.
on the
I
side.
would certainly
It's
think
not all
so.
for fun. It's like a business strategy as well.
Yeah,
It could be
Yeah.
very lucrative.
yeah.
Danny DeVito would be a fun one. I would turn into
Oh,
Sofia
yeah.
Vergara and have Danny DeVito fuck me.
Oh,
Yes,
good God.
that's a weird one too.
And then I would turn into Danny DeVito and fuck Sofia Vergara. So I get to see both sides of what that experience was like.
That's a whole show
We've
I
gone
would want to
off
miss.
the rails, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, this
What in the hell is
what's
in
the
this?
Whiskey and Hexa coffee.
It's a combo that'll get you.
Kanpai.
Kampai. That's Japanese, right? My buddy Gunze
Yep.
would always say that. That was the Japanese word he took.
Got to do when you have sushi,
Kampai.
or when you're just tasting whiskey with some good friends,
I like.
talking into microphones.
I got the shivers because like I breathed through my nose when I was right here, and it just.
Whoa. He's wait.
We're in for it.
See if
What
you
would your superpower be?
Ooh, I should have known it was coming.
Yeah.
I wish I could
Has this
read
been
minds,
discussed
you
on
know?
previous?
No.
No, I think I would just want this all cunning knowledge. I
believe
wouldn't
you.
want to be a mind reader.
Oh.
I would just use everybody's.
You would want to be a mind
Oh,
reader?
yeah.
So you just know it, all
and I'd
knowing.
be like,
That's
all-
what's Gene?
I
That's
just-
Gene Grey, right?
like a little puppet master.
tap
I could
into-
get anybody to do whatever they want.
Yeah.
I wanted, you know.
That would
So
be
a master
pretty powerful.
manipulator.
I mean, it sounds bad when you say it like that, but if you say mind reader, it sounds better.
But what is the purpose of the mind reading? To be able to manipulate, or
Well,
to just
stop
to know,
people
Or
from
to be
doing
able-
bad
or
things.
to teach?
So if you
To teach,
To educate.
to
Yeah.
see what somebody needs. Like, oh, this little child's just crying. What's the problem? And you just already know, and you say, "Oh, I'll help you find your mom." I mean, I can kind of do that now, but like
Oh, I know what you mean, though.
you'd be able
Amplify.
to get right to the
shortcuts. Just,
Yeah.
Right. Not having to read between the lines, no subtext.
wait for
you
them.
just know everything.
Yeah, you could just know it
Right.
all. That'd
Somebody
be a
can't
lot.
speak. I'm choking. You can see it from down at the boardwalk.
Right. Everyone's staring at this person like, and they're like, just tell us what's wrong. They're like,
I can't understand.
I don't
you.
understand this person. I don't know what
What's
language
wrong
that
with
is.
this guy?
What is that? Yugoslavian? What is that? Does anyone speak Yugoslavian? And you're like,
I don't know how to help this guy.
I have superpowers.
And then you tell the story later,
He's
like,
choking.
I had to let this guy die. I just didn't know what to do.
It's Yugoslavian guy.
That is interesting.
I
That'd
think
be
it
cool.
could be a good one.
I think we're headed towards that, maybe.
Mind reading.
Well, we're going to get microchips in our brains, and we'll be able to send people
Thoughts?
thoughts and maybe
Memos?
even memories, maybe even emotions. Like, are you okay? How do you feel? Like, you could just be like, this is how I feel.
Did you watch
Whoa.
HBO's Made for Love?
No.
That was kind of like
Okay.
that. It was like an Elon Musk character basically
Interesting.
secretly plants a chip in his wife's brain so that they can be more in tuned and like completely on the same page.
You watched this as well?
I did.
Yeah.
It's funny.
I'd be down to watch it.
It's,
Yeah,
it's a really
it's
funny.
cute.
It's mostly
They're
funny
good stuff.
It's great. But yeah, I
Made for
think
Love.
we are headed.
It raises
We're definitely
some
heading
it
towards
raises some ethical
We're already
dilemmas.
connected. We're going to be
But
connected.
like in
to
some ways,
something.
you think about it like, oh my god, a microchip in every person. That's really bad. But in the other ways, like
Everyone holds their phone already. Like that's connected to us.
that. But then also being able to
But, yeah.
send your emotions, read each other's minds, like it's kind of world peace.
could
Like
be-
I can't be mad at you. You can I'll just go into your brain and be like, oh, that's why he thinks this way. Like, or that's why this person is racist.
Right.
Or that's why
It's like tapping
they're just
into their
insecure.
historical
you just
context.
know everything. Yeah. You just know
It
everything.
gives you the historical context behind maybe their thinking,
exactly.
which would, definitely open up. Oh, like, yes, maybe this thinking is leading to bad things, but this is why.
This is
Right.
why.
Like,
Now I know
you're-
why.
Now I
Like,
get
I
it.
get you. I understand you.
I get that snapshot because you just sent it to me of
Yeah.
how you were raised or
Because
whatever.
like so much of what we do
or
as
what
humans,
you're hiding, you
Yeah.
know, like so many
Yeah.
people who are
Or what
hateful
you're-
towards like the LGBTQ or whatever, they might be like not being honest with who they
Right.
are. So you can
Right.
just,
A lot of that does come from like,
See it.
not being, comfortable with who you are.
or your background, you're
Or
just
your
a
background.
piece of shit.
Yeah. You just
Which
don't know.
certainly happens. I don't know if there's a remedy for that, but it'd be cool to be like a shrink to the world. You just know what's the problem.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean,
I think
that
we
doesn't
are
lead to the
heading
solution,
there.
but-
If as long as like
It's crazy.
you know
though.
people don't
You can know
use it
too
to
much,
control
though.
your mind.
It could. There's anything is always going to be used negatively,
Yeah.
right? Any technological innovation has always had
It's like social media. It's so
another-
great and also so bad.
right.
And this will be as
So
much
great.
great and way more
It'll be
bad
like,
as
whoa,
well. Yeah.
we know. Like I went too deep down this person's.
Yeah. Like don't go check out that one.
is
But
there
I-
anything like that technologically that you currently feel has gone too far?
I don't know.
Like
with
the
social
like getting
media
concerned about
or
the
just
deep fakes
technology?
or just facial
robotics,
recognition,
facial
robotics,
recognition. I don't know.
anything like that? Freak you out?
Yeah. How do you feel about this?
A little bit. Facial recognition, I feel like it's more helpful maybe than hurtful. Like, and also
Well, you don't care. You can take any face.
Right.
it's also like if you don't have anything to worry about, like, then don't worry about it. Like, if you're worried about your face getting caught, then maybe you're doing something wrong.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes,
feel
but
that.
I think the Nazis said the same thing. Like, what? You have nothing to hide.
right,
If you have nothing to hide, why can't we come in your house?
right.
Why can't you put a camera in your house that the government can see? What are you hiding? You have nothing to hide. Let us see everything.
Well,
And that will always be what they're gonna say.
But I guess
Hmm.
I understand where you're coming from, where it's like, well,
agree as
even
well.
though I don't want to have a camera in my living room with people watching, the government watching, I already know that they can see everything they want to see already.
Sure.
So there's a certain naivety or whatever
Naivety,
about
yeah.
like believing that they can't already access all those things.
I also kind of like it's what
But I hear
we
what you're
it's what we
saying,
have
too.
like it's just kind of what we have to do. Like you can either stay home all day and not do anything and then you won't be on any camera, or you
Right.
like you have to live life. That's kind of my point.
Yeah.
Like there's certain things that are going on in the world, but like you you have to either, what are you gonna do, not do anything ever because there's cameras
Right.
that might record you. Like,
In a lot of ways, like technology,
it's
it's
also
an
there for
unstoppable
safety.
wave, though. Like you can't stop it.
Yeah.
You kind of got to just go with it.
Yeah, there's already autonomous cars picking up people. There's robots
Delivering
delivering
pizzas.
food.
Yeah.
In LA, right? These little Wally-looking things driving around. That is
saw that.
happening.
Yeah.
That is Wallies are delivering food.
Yeah.
Like
It's 2021.
I'm 32. Wallies are delivering food.
Right.
Like that is insane.
Yeah.
Like what we've seen happen and what we're about to see happen is like mind blowing on a daily.
What are your
basis.
predictions?
It's
Remember,
like-
I thought 3D was going to be way bigger, but it's not.
I mean, I think we're definitely going to see more Wallies and stuff.
Yeah.
Like just autonomous
Amazon will
stuff,
just be delivered by, like, drones and stuff, yeah.
There's going to be more like pads for that stuff too. Like you're going to see more stuff built for
landing pads.
Like yeah, there's going to be more like landing pads and things like that for
Yeah.
those kinds of deliveries. Like there's going to be like the landing pad in Glendale for. There's going to be a few like Amazon landing pads for deliveries.
So
in
does it
Glendale.
land and then drives to someone's house?
I think there could be some of those.
I think I've already
But
heard
also,
some of that's
like-
happening in like really remote areas of Africa and stuff with
Yeah.
like life-saving medicine and
Or being
things
just
because
dropped,
they're being like airdropped
droned
in because
in.
there's no way
Yeah.
to kind of get things in a timely way, you know.
Yeah.
And then when people are like,
Through those
if there's
roads or
like,
whatever.
mass genocide or a cult or like a
Right.
war-torn country, you can't just drive up and be like, hey, we're here to help you. But like you can drop supplies to these people, refugees.
No,
and people
no
like
wall
that.
in the sky.
Well, historically, people
Yeah.
have sent more weapons into those war zones,
Right.
but no, I'm just kidding. Send supplies.
Yeah.
Let's do it better.
So many
I
weapons.
like autonomous cars. How do you feel about autonomous cars?
I'm cool with it.
weapons.
I'm down.
Yeah, I think it'd be great.
Yeah, like let's keep improving them and let's keep
Right.
working on them. But yeah, I'm here for it. Like, yeah, if it can save lives, if it can create a system like it's public transportation essentially. If you can create these clean autonomous cars that are always picking up people and dropping them off, just
Right.
going on loops around the city. I mean, that's huge for LA where you have to be in certain parts of the city for public transportation to be like useful.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the grid could be transformed into like an actual public
Yeah.
transportation through these cars, kind of.
And you wouldn't
The way
really
I
have
see
And
it.
like the
traffic
car
either.
share too.
And you wouldn't
which
have
is
traffic
nice.
because cars would always be moving.
Yeah, and they can just go like through like intersections like this and just not hit each other. And like everything will
Right.
just move so quick
just be like,
because
oh,
they're
okay.
just No one has to like stop and wait and like
Right.
the whole thing just can move at like 100 miles an hour. You can be this far away from another car.
And I'm all for like, what's it? The Hyperloop. I think we need to like.
So what's the
we need
Hyperloop?
to-
It's a train,
Yeah.
basically.
It's like
It's an underground train.
No, it can be above ground.
But it just moves
too.
real
it's like
fast.
A bullet. It's like a bullet that uses like magnets, like levitated, and they lift. Because of that, it like shoots it down, and it's able to like glide instead of like be on like a typical train track.
Because
So
there's
it's in
no
a tube.
friction.
It's in like a tube,
Right.
So it's like just either it's air or magnet. I forget what it is, but it's you're like
Right.
getting
It might
shot
be like
through
a vacuum.
tube.
Yeah, yeah.
Cool.
It might be magnets on the bottom.
Maybe it's
or
magnets
around
and
the
a vacuum.
side. It's a vacuum magnet. It's
a-
vac magnet.
Vac magnet.
Magnet.
Vacnet. That's what that's
Magnum.
Magnum.
There's definitely something in there.
You son of a bitch. So
Continue.
So wait, that's proposed in LA?
The Hyperloop.
Yeah,
they
it's
want to
LA
do
to
they want to
Vegas,
do one
right?
from LA to Vegas or LA to San
know how
Fran or
quick it
something.
goes?
You can get to
LA
like
to
San Fran in
San
an hour or
Fran.
something.
I vote for that one.
Or
If
30,
anyone wants
45
to
minutes
know
or something.
what my vote is.
you don't want to go to Vegas?
Vegas is cool, but I would rather be able to dart up to San Francisco
Yeah,
for
same.
the weekend, go to wine country.
I'm
be
more
like,
excited for
oh,
what it
yes,
means
please.
about just traveling across America. America is so behind on like speed trains and like bullet trains and like it's insane. Like, isn't it crazy how many cities are close to each other in the Midwest? And like they built the freeways, which is great that connects them all. But imagine if there was like speed trains in the Midwest.
Oh, I feel
how
that.
connected
20 minutes
businesses
to
could be.
St. Louis.
I used to live in
or
Indianapolis.
Indy to Columbus and
Give me
Right.
that.
20 minutes, you know,
give me
like-
that
Let's get lunch
Chicago,
in
Columbus
Nashville.
route. Yeah. Oh,
right. Like
Love it.
And I think it's
connecting the Midwest and South would be amazing with like speed trains. And
Yeah.
I'm just like, we're so behind. Like,
I could
it's
be
just, like,
wrong.
it's,
All
like,
of the
never
East
gonna
Coast really
happen.
is so
Yeah.
close together too. It would, I mean,
Yeah.
out west it starts to become challenging.
Right.
I get, but
like over there, they
Yeah.
kill it.
I would think it would pollute less too. I could be wrong, but like an airplane just dumping fuel into the atmosphere versus like something that uses like air compression and magnets. I'm sure there's a carbon footprint to it, but it seems like it would be
Yeah, I agree. It's probably
Better.
Definitely better.
better. Yeah. And like more.
So I'm on board for
Imagine
that
this.
stuff. I like robotics too. I'm all for like, there's this one called like Flippy and all these new like miso robotics that are like in chef robotics that are like transforming the food industry, like these burger flipping robots and stuff.
whoa.
I'm on board with that. I mean, I think, and there's like these pizza making
But
robots.
what about the jobs?
I was just going to say that actually. What about the jobs?
I think there will still be jobs. There's still going
What
to
are
be
the
people
jobs?
to
Let's say I'm a truck driver.
to operate the robots and to make
operates the
sure
robots?
to make sure the robots are operating correctly and to like.
But don't I
fix
got to
the
be a
robots.
genius to know how to do that?
Yeah, you have to be a robotics
You
engineer.
You
Good
do.
luck.
Like, if I'm a trucker right now, which I think that's a big industry,
Yeah.
a lot of truck drivers, that job is not going to exist in 20 years
Or less.
Or less. Yeah. That'll
Yeah.
just be an automated car
Or a truck, yeah,
or truck, sure.
yeah.
So are those, and like,
What do
I
those-
don't think, that's like the milkman, like some jobs are going to get lost. We shouldn't purposely stifle progress because your job depends on it.
Mm-hmm.
Like people are going to get
Yeah.
fucked. But what do those people
Sucks.
do?
I don't know.
And once everything is a robot, or like once so many like
Once
manufacturing jobs, warehouse jobs, how many people does Amazon employ that wouldn't be employed anymore?
Once they have the robots doing everything.
What does your average person do?
Yeah.
You don't drive Uber. You don't drive Postmates.
know.
You don't cook food.
That's why
There's
we're
no
going to need
grocery
some sort of
store.
universal income, right?
Universal.
This was
income
Andrew
would be
Yang's
good.
thing, right? That
Right.
like universal income is going to be the only way that we survive.
It's kind of an interesting
robotic.
point, yeah,
But
because
wouldn't-
there's going to be so many people. Like the job market's not going to be able to match the people, the skill set of people that are in the market, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that what you're saying? Like there's just not going to be enough opportunity for people to find the typical kind of jobs that are entry level,
Yeah.
kind of lower.
Yeah, and like
the
manual labor jobs.
manual labor.
I mean, maybe
fast
houses
food,
would be built
restaurant.
by robots
Right.
in a day versus paying like 30 people to do it in
Yeah.
6 months.
It's seriously
you
going to
know?
be like.
Yeah, but maybe okay, but those technologies are most often used to make things more efficient. So maybe with with increased efficiency comes more free time for people. We don't need
so I
maybe
saw a
that
segment-
brings the average cost of those goods and services and impacts down so that we can, offset it with new added bonuses. Like we don't have to work so much. We don't have to work the way we've had to traditionally because we have
the idea of work.
They
automatic.
can build a house in a day, so houses are cheaper. So the fact that you just work 1 day a week, like
buys you more because
Right.
the economy is based off of, a different arrangement of
like
labor
that.
and supply and demand.
I think you'll see a lot of like
all that economy stuff.
therapy, psychological jobs. That I don't know that a robot will ever be able to do necessarily.
I always felt there was job security in childcare because people don't want, I think mentally people would never really warm to the idea of robots
agree.
taking
Yeah.
care of their children.
Yep.
I agree.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem like
Teaching maybe in general would survive, yeah, and hopefully get paid way more. even.
Teaching definitely
Yeah,
because
maybe.
it is
Probably
just as
not.
much about the human connection with the student as it is
Right.
about what they're learning. In fact, they won't learn if there isn't a connection. They won't learn as well
Right.
if there isn't a connection with the teacher, some sort of connection,
I
right?
believe that,
You
yeah.
know? That's why like teachers that are so like nonchalant and don't give a shit about their student, like those students don't do as well probably.
Right.
Because they're like, huh?
But what if Demi Lovato made a video explaining the periodic table to you? Are you going to pay more attention to that or to like some old lady at your high school? You know what I mean?
What's the old
like,
lady wearing?
Okay.
I don't know. Yeah. Or like maybe just more people would make art. I don't know. Like maybe art and
That's
like
what I mean. They could have
technology or
it's-
even like what I think the future of art is, since we're going to be sending things through our mind, people will create like a feeling. Like you'll either
Like my
think it up.
new feeling is coming out.
Like, have you felt
Yeah.
Pharrell's new feeling? Like, it's fucking so cool.
Yeah, I checked it out.
He's
it's
happy.
killer.
Yeah.
Or like Tim Burton made a feeling, dude. It's fucked. Try it, dude. It's really creepy.
Yeah,
It's
just
weird.
lock into that feeling for
Yeah.
a minute.
Like, are people just gonna, is there gonna be like an Instagram of like feelogram and like
I
you'll
don't
be
know.
like
That's weird. You're
an
on some-
influencer
that's
will
some
be
next
like
level shit, Paul.
making who can make the best feelings. But then
I don't know.
are we just gonna seek out the feeling of accomplishment, the feeling of love, the feeling of friendship? And is that gonna be the same as like holding someone's hand and being someone's friend and really being there for somebody?
But maybe all of that automation.
It's like her. I feel like
it'll
we're almost getting close to that, like kind
Almost
of
like
her
her.
kind of vibe.
Spike Jones, shout out.
Yeah.
Maybe
What up?
it'll give us more free time to do
Joaquin.
the things that are actually like make us human. Like more time to make music, more time to spend with your family because you don't have to worry about the same sort of mundane task, routines, punching in every day to
Yeah.
polish the floors
I
of
mean,
an elementary school.
yeah, who
because-
knows?
I think yes,
I don't know.
but
It's interesting
You
to
want
think about,
income.
like, we've also been told, like, everyone has to do something. Like, there's like, everyone has a part to play. It, like, maybe everyone doesn't, you know? I mean, it is kind of a fact. Like, there are some non-contributors, let's be real. Like,
definitely.
probably, who knows how many, but there are some, but everyone does contribute to something, right? Because everyone's doing something.
Are they?
I don't know.
Some people are just sitting
If
at
they're
home
not
collecting
working, they're
the
still-
check.
They're still taking something or giving something, right? You know, like everyone's doing. I don't know what I'm trying to say.
They're a piece of the economy.
Yeah, everyone's
They're
a
at
part
least
of it.
spending.
Right.
At the very
they're
least,
at
they're a
spending or
consumer.
taking, or they have debt, or you know, like. But
I'm looking at it like,
I'm like, what do we do with the people that don't contribute or that don't want to?
And do we need them to
there's
contribute?
more. I think there's more security net built in to taking care of people when
Yeah.
basic needs are met with technology in a less burdensome way. But I'm thinking about the moment in human history when like humans had all this new time on their hands when they basically well,
like agriculture.
yeah,
and-
like with the rise of agriculture, like things shifted. They were no longer like
Yeah.
constantly on the move, but they were kind of able to sort of plan for the first time and prepare and like
it
create
transformed
reserves.
building.
Right, it changed
communities.
everything. Like everything
People-
changed. So I
Yeah.
can imagine the similar process happening now, where
Yeah.
it's sort of like
This is kind
there's
of our
this-
next
There's this thing on the
agricultural-
horizon. Yeah, there's a revolution coming
Yeah.
where it's not based off of like this capitalistic. You have to work 40 hours a week and never retire and
Yeah.
put money in your 401k. Like the whole thing would
That
just
whole
be
thing
rewritten.
Yeah,
You
I think
know?
it is being
you're right.
rewritten as well.
Very well put. Yeah.
Um,
So it could
Could
be
happen.
like,
yeah,
I mean, it'll be
interesting.
interesting, and I think we're gonna see it.
yeah.
We're not gonna see everything,
we've
but we're
lived
gonna
through, like,
see
this is like a
some
very
shit.
good life we've lived.
Born
I
at the
would
right
say
time.
we're at an exciting time in the world. It's a weird
agree.
time.
Yeah.
A lot of times I think this is a fucking weird time.
Same.
When I was a kid, I would think like, oh
Same.
man, I wish I was born in the '60s. Then I would have been. But like, actually, I want to be born right in 1989 when I was
Yeah.
born because I got to play in the
Man.
dirt as a kid. I got to get a stupid little cell phone in 8th grade.
It flipped. It was so fun.
And I'm gonna see
Right.
people
Best
fucking
fidget.
go to
go to Mars or zip around on hyperloops or have a robot pick me up and take me to hang out with my friend Brendon.
Yeah.
And like,
This will happen. This happening.
yeah,
Okay.
it's really fucking,
It is. It's kind of trippy.
it's crazy.
It's just, it's almost that kind of stuff that they thought was going to be going on in like like the Jetsons type stuff.
Yeah.
Like we're
Right.
we're kind of getting much closer now.
We're getting much closer.
Like,
and
there's
think
still-
about,
like the Fifth Element stuff. I still think we're so far from like these different lanes of flying cars in the sky. Like I don't know how we would even regulate so many cars. Like when you see these movies of like
Back to the
that
Future.
futuristic.
yeah.
How would we even regulate different lanes in the sky?
Well, it's like-
that. I mean, we
like
do it
just
with planes.
last week in
but
China,
that's different.
that
What if they-
rocket was gonna crash into the
Anywhere,
ocean.
right? They were like,
And
it could land.
it could be anywhere
It
between
could come down anywhere.
over here on Earth
Yeah.
or down here. But either way, it could be really bad. We don't know. But China was just sort of like, it's probably going to break apart in Earth's atmosphere,
Yeah.
and it's probably
Probably.
not a bad thing. And
we feel pretty good about it.
like they did, and their evaluations suggested that it was fine. But I mean, it was a weird moment for me because I was in New York,
Yeah.
which has like a doomsday vibe. You don't want to be in New York City when like the world's ending, you
Right.
know. And it's
Definitely.
just my brother-in-law was really like
Yeah.
focused on watching where this was going to land, and I just felt the anxiety building. And I'm like, we were all subjected to their calculations and their decision making
Right.
about like, oh, it's
This
probably
thing.
fine.
Right.
And yeah, I guess I didn't realize how polluted space already is. Mm-hmm. And it's sort
With,
of
like,
like the
space junk.
last frontier is already completely contaminated with junk.
Right.
it
It's
can be
interesting.
cleaned up.
I know I've been
can be cleaned up.
advocating for technology this whole time, but that
It's kind of the
that
price-
weirded me out.
It's like it's like the price for exploration. There's always a price to pay for like going to the moon and pushing the boundaries.
Right.
But
or
it
going
also,
to the new world, going to
But
America.
there's also like science developed other things that we used in medicine and right, like MRI machines, right? Like so there's other inventions that come out of these big like,
Yeah.
going to space.
Sure.
But
Or
it
wars.
creates a lot of junk.
yeah.
Wars.
Wars,
are
you get a
tough.
lot of technology out of a war. If we had World War III right now, in 20 years, we'd be farther ahead than if we didn't.
Right.
We need a world war.
Because
No, I'm
of
just
like
kidding.
the production of all that.
Yeah, just everyone's science would amplify and everyone would put all their money into
Be like,
we need
how
to
can we
advance our
make a bigger
technologies.
bomb?
We can't let China be ahead of us
Right.
technologically. Now suddenly that's a threat to our daily lives in a very real way. If we're at war with China, let's
Right.
say we were.
Yeah.
Like, so
True.
it does push science forward. And then even, I mean, World War II, science took a big jump.
Yeah,
You know, like it,
no doubt.
It just really did.
Yeah. I mean, and
Yeah, I mean, there was
War is
unintended
its
good
own thing,
consequences
too.
too,
Radio,
like getting women in the workforce. I mean, there were accidentally good things that happened for sure.
Arguably. No, I'm just kidding. But you said something that was making me think there's something.
please don't do that to the microphone.
Sorry, everybody. I forgot. But yeah,
Maybe I'll come back to you.
we're born at a cool
Talking
time.
about space, about the space race and the
About
the space
space.
pollution.
Oh,
and-
well, I was just
How did we
thinking,
get on?
if things are flying in the sky,
Yeah.
they're going to also be self-driving. So you're not going to need lanes.
Ah.
By that time, we will be self-driving.
By that time, everything will be smart enough to not hit each
Smart
other.
enough to not hit each other. That's it. And every now and then, something's going to fall from the sky. And maybe there will be certain zones that you can fly over or that those things fly over and
regulated
certain things
zones.
that they don't.
Yeah.
But it's not going to be just a bunch of, it's not going to be like some drunk 16-year-old, like, all right, like, let's go to my mom's house. Like, I don't think anyone's home. And like, yeah, just crashing into mountains and stuff. I think by that point, because we're already about to get automated cars. We're not flying.
I see what you're saying.
all.
If
So
like
they'll
if
be
there's
automated.
flying cars, we would have covered auto.
So
autonomous.
I don't worry
too.
that much about
Yeah.
the lanes in the sky.
Well,
there's a lot of room
I mean,
in the sky,
his
too.
theory,
True.
he was like, oh yeah, that's why we haven't had anyone else go to the moon is because they can't like safely send astronauts up because they can't control space debris that much. So like he believes at least it's that problematic already.
Well, aren't they sending
Yeah.
people go into
Aren't they doing-
space?
yeah,
People go to
people
the
are still-
space
aren't- yeah.
station.
People
People go into space. People go into orbit.
Okay.
But yeah,
Okay.
okay, I think that's the thing. Like talking about all this space junk
Space
and like
junk.
look at all the plastic in the ocean and in our fucking body and in our cells now. Like technology created this problem, but I think technology is also going to fix it. Like if someone can create some like small little things that you disperse and clean up the ocean and dissolve plastic
some
into
young
something
kid came up
else.
with a way to clean up.
Right, and some kids got like so, and same with everything in the orbit. Like
You're right. There's hope.
those are temporary problems to me. All that space junk,
Technology can fix it.
technology will figure out a way.
It's like technology
to fix
created this mess, but technology can fix it too.
I like that. I take comfort
It's like
in
we
that.
can kind of use it to hopefully to fix the mess.
It. Yeah, and like you can't,
But we got to
fight
move
it.
fast enough.
Yeah.
If we don't move fast, because we've done so much damage to make so much progress and go fast and fast,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
We've like destroyed the planet to go so fast,
Right.
And like to do so much.
I saw
like,
something
Right.
today that was like
We've like tipped the scale too much.
So
in
we're
that
also on the
direction. We have to
precipice.
like, if we don't,
yeah.
like, we're almost past the point. Like, we need to
no
really
return.
step it up, or
Yeah.
we're like screwed.
yeah,
agree.
I think
Like, we
we're
need to really
definitely
go
there.
in the opposite direction and like slow down and stop and like.
Do we
but
need to
we're
slow
not.
down and stop, or do we need to speed up to the point where
Where we can then
it
fix
can
it again.
fix it?
Yeah.
There was
so
an-
do we like do
So
a
if you
last
pump
little,
the brakes, nothing's getting
But
fixed.
what
The
if the
problem
last
already
little
exists.
pushes it even further, and then the volcanoes start erupting and sea level
Hey,
like
and we'll be
know what I'm
podcasting
saying?
here at the Elk Lodge, drinking Del Bach, and watching the world burn. You know,
I like it.
what were you going to say?
One way to do it.
Do you guys want one more
Hopefully
drink?
we'll
I'm
see.
actually a little tipsy, but I'm going to take a little more.
I'll do a little more.
Yeah, sure. Another
One
round.
more splash for the boys.
All I was going to say is I
girls.
saw
Come
some
on.
article today and it was basically talking about how there's essentially like
Thank you.
20 main global corporations that are responsible
Oh,
for the
yeah.
environmental like crisis as we know it right now. And so you just
There's
have
just
these
a
like
few.
conglomerate, like crazy, powerful entities, and they're essentially the ones responsible for so many of these pieces. And then the irony of it is that they just make us feel like as individual consumers,
It's our fault.
responsibility.
On an
And you know, if we just reduce
need
our
to do more change-
single use
yeah.
plastic, and if we recycle properly, and if we we
Right.
get reusable bags at the grocery store and skip bags, that's all going to be okay. And it's like that's not enough
Right.
at this point.
Yeah.
And
Like,
I'm
sure-
happy to do those things,
Yeah.
and that's okay. But come
There's-
on, 20 fucking companies.
There's bigger things that are out of
Yeah.
our hands.
So what
It's
should
just
happen? We should
atrocious.
regulate those companies.
There should be a pay to pollute policy on every good.
Yeah, they
that's
need to
made.
offset
Yeah, if you're gonna
what
pour
they're doing
chemicals,
by planting trees or by investing in
Yes.
solar or wind. Like they need, these bigger polluters need to offset
pay to
But-
pollute.
what they're doing
So
or even it out.
to
somehow.
play devil's advocate,
Yeah,
let's say I'm mad at big gasoline for all
Okay.
this shit,
Yep.
but I still drive a car. Like, are people, people, I'm driving the car. I could not drive. We could all choose to not drive a car, but it's convenient. We like it. So we buy it. Like everyone's like mad at Jeff Bezos for having all this money. Like we gave him all of our money. We gave him the money. We bought shit on Amazon. Like,
But
is he the bad guy?
But society-
Or did he just create something that's very good
it's
and
how,
convenient?
society built the
Yeah.
highway systems and the roads
It's how
and
it's
the
distributed.
automotive
It's like,
industry.
should he have that much? Or should maybe it be distributed better to the people that are actually kind of making
But then
his wealth?
should you not
his
buy
wealth?
Amazon? Should you just buy stuff from other people? Stop giving your money to Jeff Bezos. If you keep
Yeah,
buying
I
stuff
try
from
to do that
off of
every time.
Amazon, he's going to keep getting all of your money.
Right.
Right. I mean, that's why I
Partly,
think
I
that's
agree.
why the
Big
shop small
corporations
movement
shouldn't
exists.
just put it on us. It's not just us.
Yeah.
And they're the ones raking in billions of dollars. And if anyone's going to change it, really change it, it is them. But I don't think
they
we're
have
completely innocent in this either.
Some accountability.
Some accountability.
Sure,
For sure.
but we are
We're
pawns
part
in
of
a
it.
system here.
Exactly.
And we are at the
we only
bottom.
have so many
But a pawn is
choices.
still a player.
We are
Right.
the bottom feeders in this ecosystem. And what comes above us is a bunch of people who are profiting off of keeping things exactly the way they are. We didn't choose to build highway systems and become
Right.
auto dependent. Like these are things that
We didn't
our
make it so that
society
we had to
gave
commute,
it to.
right? Like
right.
commutes were a part of what we're told. Like they were
Exactly.
told, get a house in the suburbs and then you can commute, like that kind of stuff. There was just like
we
this
didn't exactly.
this box that was like packaged life that was like built for Americans, right? To like do this thing and live this way. And cars were a huge part of.
Right. It was like, do you
Cars
want
are
a
so
magnet
tied
train
to the
or
American
a car?
economy. Is like
So is it just the
And
profits
culture.
of these guys should get cut down? Because I don't want the price of gas to go up, for example. I don't want the price of my car or my
But the
water
co-
or my electricity to go up.
I
Is
think
it
it's
just
just
that
the
the profits that they're shaving off the top
yeah.
should be less.
It's just
You
there's
could
no
argue
reason
that.
anyone needs
Or you could
that. Like I get that. Look, if you like, yeah, he's earned it. Cool. Like, yeah, maybe you get it. Like you won it all. Good job. But like, it's still messed up. It is. You can't say that it's okay that
I
all
agree,
these
but
people are
what's-
working for so little under him, and he gets it all just because he like.
But I mean,
I think there
to
needs
play
to
devil's
be
advocate,
Came up with the
what did they
idea.
do? You know, did they start Amazon? Are they starting companies?
There,
You know,
But you
Yeah,
know what that
like-
implies? That they got there independently. They don't get
Hmm.
there independently. They get there on the backs of our American of any labor
He
force. They
didn't
get
get-
there
yeah.
on the back of
He
exploiting
didn't-
environments
It was
and
his
resources.
ideas, but he wouldn't be Jeff Bezos without his employees.
I agree.
and the
Right.
natural resources and all
His
the
employees
things,
operate
the,
his company.
the tax cuts, all the things
Right.
that happen.
It's all part. It's like
Sure.
yeah.
But without him, those employees would have a different job. He
I
hired
guess I'm
them.
saying like I guess I just wish he had the I guess the empathy to give back more.
Right.
I guess I wish people were just I guess I wish people in his position had the hindsight to go, oh, I don't need a bajillion dollars.
Right.
Let me give all of my employees crazy bonuses and make their day.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Wouldn't that be fun for a
Right.
like if I had that much money, I always thought it'd be fun to do random fun stuff like
agree.
that, right?
Yeah.
Tip a waitress,
Like,
like,
what
all
did I
these
make
YouTube
last year?
videos,
Like,
Right.
Mr. Beast type
$1,000
videos.
tip,
Where
yeah.
he's like, I'm gonna tip a waitress in gold bricks. Like,
Right.
I'd love to do fun shit like that. But it's like the people with the most money never feel that way. Elon, Bill Gates, like Gates has some charities, but they still have so much money that they could have solved all the venues. Like Elon Musk could have just given millions of dollars to all the venues suffering over the past years, and it would have been.
But could
nothing,
the American government not have done that also?
But they
And
did.
why is it
Well,
Elon Musk's job and
It's
not
not
the
his job,
government's
but
job?
I'm saying like it's just fun. I just feel like there's a misuse of distribution.
It is interesting.
It's just like all three people with so much money,
I agree with you.
and then there's all these issues
me,
that
I
need
do
money
agree with
to
you.
solve
Yes,
them.
yes.
And it's like
The Elon
hello,
Musk one is interesting
we could solve
too.
these if all these three dudes just gave up like 1%
small-
of their
small
like wealth.
Decibel.
You know,
yeah.
it's just
Elon
crazy.
Musk
that,
just
like, it's just crazy that there's that wealth exists there. And then these problems that need money to like at
Right.
least
You
get
could
solved
fix
a little
that
bit.
and not even feel it.
Yeah.
You'd still be super rich.
There's just like, yeah, it's just crazy
You know?
how,
Yeah.
how that's
Like, I
just
think-
a thing.
I would love. I
What were
agree.
you
No,
saying?
go ahead.
I was
Yeah,
gonna
sorry.
say Elon Musk just like swore off Bitcoin, and I'm glad he was like, citing all these environmental concerns, which is great and cool. But it also came after he sold all of his Bitcoin and made like $100 million in profit. So
Yeah.
it's
I'm not
like, I
saying
don't
it's
know.
on
Is
these
it
guys.
ironic?
I just think it's interesting that
They could do
that we
better, that's
have
for sure.
this, what's the word? Like just two,
Imbalance.
yeah, this imbalance kind of.
Yeah.
You've got like 5 people that have as much wealth as in the entire country.
It's $1 billion.
Here's my problem.
more, yeah, I
There's
mean,
that's
never
just
going to be a
wild.
time where they're motivated to cut their own earnings to
Like
save
there's 3
global
of us sitting
problems.
around this table. Imagine if
have
we
to
were
make it
those
that
3
way.
people, how much wealth would just be sitting at this table as they talked. Like that's
So
insane.
what would you do if you had $40 billion in your bank account right now?
Spread it around. I mean, like,
Put it where? Where'd you put it?
yeah, put it into, like impoverished countries, like help people that don't have like bathrooms, toilets to like go poop in and stuff, like that kind of stuff, like clean water, like wind, solar in countries, like
Yes.
help countries out.
And what
That are
about
like-
America? Would you help
yeah,
America?
help America
as well?
for sure.
What
Yeah,
would you do
including
for
America. Yeah, homelessness. Try to build,
Let's
camp,
get nonviolent criminals out of jail.
Yeah.
Let's do all sorts of good
Like-
things. Let's
Yeah,
fix the
I-
education
I
system.
agree. I think
Yeah.
that sounds amazing.
Our education system in this country has gone to
politicians
shit.
that I feel like are progressive.
But and then at that point,
Like-
who's running the country? Like, is it the billionaires that they'll be like, I'll fix education, I'll fix homelessness,
Private.
I'll fix
Right.
this and that?
I mean,
Or is
they
that
already
the
do that.
government's
They already
job?
buy our elections. That's already who's running things.
No, but-
that's the video camera in the living room argument again. It's like it's already happening that elections are bought
Right,
by
yeah, I mean,
people
you've
and
got,
stakeholders and
what's
not
it?
individuals.
Congress, what's it called?
But I guess
Lobbyists.
Lobbyists.
I think
Everything's
a lot of
Gun
rich people,
lobbyists.
yeah.
like we've
I
talked
hate
about
that
this with
system.
taxes before. I think a lot of rich people would be like, I'd happily pay more taxes if I thought it was really going to help somebody. But they feel like it's not. They're giving their money just to the government and they're trusting those assholes to
Yeah,
not
and
keep
I guess
most of it.
skepticism is
and
a
to
good
spend it.
thing. Criticism of a
Yeah.
system is a good thing.
I guess overall, it's nobody, like there's just a misuse of funds all around. Like the government
Yeah.
doesn't, maybe, actually they've been all right. They've gave me some money when I was unemployed, so I'll take that.
Yeah,
But-
honestly, same. It's been
Yeah.
it's been great, but it's interesting because I know that comparatively to a lot of nations, it's like chump change.
It's just
So
hard to
it-
comprehend the concept of there being enough wealth for everything to be solved and fixed, and then it just not be, it's just misused. It's just frustrating.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. I mean, I agree.
Right?
I'm just trying to kind of
Yeah,
play devil's advocate here.
Thank you.
I agree. I think
that's all.
3
I don't know
people
the
having
solution.
so much shit
Yeah.
is weird. And
It's
if
just-
I had
It's crazy that
over
we've
$1
just
billion,
come to that. Yeah,
I wouldn't want to keep it all.
I would
be,
start.
it would make me so
I'd
happy
give
to help
businesses
somebody.
to people. I'd
For
like
sure.
start businesses and give them to people.
Yeah.
Like I'd like help people.
And
help
I'm sure
themselves.
they're doing some of that. I'm
Yeah.
sure Elon Musk tips
sure.
well.
Yeah.
Like I'm sure, but
Definitely.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's just a weird
his
place that
kids'
we're
It's a
at.
teachers
weird
better
thing.
get
It's a
really
weird
good
place that we're at.
holiday
That's all.
gifts.
And like
It's maybe not wrong. It's maybe where we need to be to get to maybe there needs to be just a few rich people that do this stuff. Maybe that's just how it's played out.
So wait, what
I'm
about
not like-
Bill and Melinda Gates? Because I feel like they were the people who always did actually use their money
They've
to like
done better.
give back, and
credit.
then
They have,
ironically,
their foundation.
they're like demonized so
Right.
wholeheartedly
They
by
did.
like they're like considered the scum
Bill
of the
Gates,
earth
I think,
by
was
so
a
many
big.
people.
He's getting wrapped up in the Epstein
I
thing.
know.
a lot.
It'll be interesting
Bear-
to see
like-
what
He
happens.
keeps denying. I mean, he met him once or twice.
Is that what it was? Has he not been to the island or things like that, or
I
been
don't
on the
think
plane?
so. Has he? Has there been
haven't-
more?
I
All I've
haven't
heard is that
that clickbait
all I've
didn't
heard
work
is that-
on me. I
is
haven't
that
clicked on it.
Gates said he regrets taking meetings with him. Maybe
Right.
he took a meeting or two and he said, "I regret my misjudgment." But I don't think he ever. Maybe I haven't read into it more. I don't think he ever did an
I
actual
don't know
deal
enough.
with Epstein. I don't think he ever took
I don't know enough.
any
to
of his
say.
money.
And like, if if someone's like, "Hey, you're a
But-
billionaire. This billionaire is going to come talk to you." He's kind of a sleaze bag, but anyway, he's got some ideas. Be like, "All right, I'll meet
Right,
with him."
in
I'll
that
meet
day
with
and
him. Like, I
age-
don't know.
Right. It's only now that like
It's an
these
insider's
people-
club.
Yeah. Right.
Sure.
It's an insider's club.
Yeah.
So
I know. It's so
knows?
interesting, too. We fantasize, I think, a lot in this country, maybe probably all over the world, about being rich. But like,
Yeah.
the odds of it happening
That's
are
also-
so small. Like, it's just not going to happen for most people. But they think that they're so close
It's
to
also
it.
kind of driven into us.
weird. It's a weird
like a
thing.
culture. Like we grow up watching like game shows where you win money
Mm-hmm.
and everything is like centered around money. And it's like the lottery is promoted like crazy. And it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, it's like very apparent that like it's from a young age. You're like
Charlie and the
told-
Chocolate Factory,
Right.
the golden ticket. Like, it could
It's
happen
like-
it could happen to you.
Yeah, it's weird. It like forces you, into this routine of fantasizing about having more money, as if that's like
what's the fantasy is to step outside of the working class.
Yeah.
If you win $200 million on the lottery, like
That new money.
you get to sidestep this 9 to 5 that
everybody,
99% of the world has to deal with.
to pay
You
off
get to
thing, right?
step out of it.
Yeah,
And that's the carrot in front of your face.
Yeah.
Like
it's
you can
weird.
step out. It is, but
It's like we watch Price.
who wouldn't want to step out of the working class? Like, I feel like all the work I'm trying to do is to step outside of the working class and not have to work.
Yeah, I think
Right.
so. I think passive income is now the goal of like our entire
Yeah.
like generation. We're just
It's
like,
like how
But
can
is that
we?
bad?
what can
No,
we
it's
do
not.
to
No.
just collect
yeah.
royalties? You know?
Yeah, what can we do to just like
Yeah, what can I do
live
to
a more well-rounded, like less? I
Yeah.
need to be here to get this thing. Yeah,
I feel
Right.
We're
that
looking to
like
do that
I've
more
been
and
in
more.
between
Yeah.
jobs, and you just don't even realize like how much of your identity.
and I don't think it
is
means
wrapped
we
up in
wouldn't
that.
want to work. It means we would work
crazy.
harder on the things that we actually.
I agree.
I like
agree.
working. I don't like having a job.
Yeah,
I don't
It
mind.
would
I
totally-
I
love
want to
working.
contribute,
Yeah,
but I don't want to
right.
contribute in the way that they
they're
necessarily
saying I
want
need
me to
to, yeah.
contribute.
Yeah. David Bowie said, "Never have a boss." That's like, I don't mind working. I'll work. I mean, I work hard, but like, I don't want a boss. I don't want to work for someone else. I'm happy to work, but I want to work for myself.
Good thing your boss is a clown because it keeps it fun.
Good thing I have an amazing boss. Yeah. But like,
I've liked a boss sometimes. I'm a little.
but even when I love a boss, I love my job
Or-
right now. I have
yeah.
the best job I've ever had.
You're right. Even still,
I'd still
it'd be
rather
be
not.
way better
I'd still
to have
rather
the freedom
not.
to do whatever and know that you've got bank.
Yes. I'd
Funding
still
it.
rather
Yeah.
make
that's
money
the ultimate.
doing my thing instead of doing somebody else's thing
100%.
for them. As fun and as awesome of a boss as they are.
Yeah, you're
I'd
right.
still rather not.
Yeah,
I don't know. So am I falling victim to this like idea that you can get lucky and step out of the working class? Or is someone saying, I need to work for someone. I need to show up 9 to 5. I need to be the best worker, the hardest worker they ever met.
That's like me.
Are they falling victim to a system?
Both. I think.
Who's the victim,
We're all victims because we're all.
I don't know.
We're all the
I don't feel like a victim.
bottom feeders.
Like, but I am a bottom feeder, yeah. I am in the working class of society.
it's interesting.
So is the trick does the upper class trick you that the working class is what you have to do? You have no choice. You got to work. Is that the trick?
Well,
Or is the
that's
trick
the
that,
trick.
hey,
but
if you figure something cool out, you can come over here and hang out with us.
no, that's
and
the
you don't have to be
illusion.
part of the working
That's
class.
the illusion.
It
They're
happens,
both
though.
illusions. Very seldomly.
The trick. It's the whole. You got to get this thing so that you can work and buy stuff so that you can like be happy. Like it's that whole system. It's like
Right.
that we're told you need to be
Right.
a part
I disagree
of.
with that system more than I disagree with
Same.
figure out if you make a funny app tonight, if you make Flappy Birds, you can make $10 million tomorrow and come over here and hang out with us. And we don't work, we hang out. Like I don't know.
I like that.
I don't think that's a bad thing. I wish more people could figure out how to do that. And I think in today's day and age, more and more people are figuring out how to step over here. Like, you can invest in crypto and fucking turn $1,000 into $1 million, maybe.
True. Yeah, there's a lot of people
You can
that are
make
just
Flappy
living-
Birds and get $10 million. You can.
Yeah.
They're like. I think that's better. That's leveling the playing field. I think there's more millionaires today than ever. There has to be.
Yeah, that's probably true.
More millionaires?
More millionaires.
There might be more people that are better.
I think the distribution of that or the disparity is like higher than ever. Not
Well, the richest people in the world are richer than ever.
right.
But the
And there's
the
fewer
amount
of them. There's fewer of them.
right.
Than,
I don't agree. I
No,
don't know.
I think that's what
No,
it
there
is.
is.
That's
There
There's
what it
fewer
is.
millionaires today
Yeah.
than in 1920. There were
I
more
don't think
millionaires then.
millionaires, but I mean, I think the
I see what you're,
wealth
like-
requirements even gone up. But
Well, but fine. 10 million people who can retire at 30. Retiring at 30, I think, is more common today.
no,
than
it's
before.
not because the average age of home purchasing a home is later. The average age of paying off
everything's
student
been,
debt, everything we
everything's been
do,
kinda, like,
our
pushed.
generation is actually the
Wanna look it up?
brokest generation. In American history, because we were sold that higher education is the way to go,
like a mix of all
and
the
we
different
weren't.
things.
We're not promised jobs when
And
we
then
graduate. The cost
the
of
crash,
living is high. The
08.
recession.
Yeah, which
Yeah, it's kind of like
pandemic.
pandemic.
Yeah, we've had a
The
few
odds
curveballs.
are not in our favor
Right.
over here.
There's been a few curveballs. Social Security is like not going to be great.
Okay,
you
let's
got?
see. The total, this is from
Put us on blast.
Spend. I don't know what this website is. Maybe I should find a website that I've heard of before.
It's always a good idea.
Statista.com. Never heard of it.
What were you looking up?
I was just trying to look up like the number of millionaires
Millionaires.
like over the years
That
or
exist.
the number of just successful people. I don't know. I think quality of life.
There's more. There's
Quality
fewer
increased.
people holding more portion of the pie
Yeah.
than ever before.
Right.
There
That
are
is
less.
true.
There are less wealthy people controlling more of the day-to-day operations. There are 20 corporations
where's
in
the
this
stat
world
to show that?
are polluting the earth. I'll send you an article
Pull
I
it
read
up.
today.
Don't
Like-
you don't have to pull it up.
You don't
Well,
have
I'm
to-
just,
we've
like-
been talking a long time. The people can't support.
Well, I
these
just don't
files.
like. We had a conversation once where we just ended it with being like, "Well, I guess we just don't know," and like, why not just look it up? Like, what would be the stat to look up to see
Okay,
who's
let me
right
think
about
this. Let's see.
wealth disparity
Wealth.
in America? Because it feels like it's easier right now to become a millionaire than before.
Google.com. That's a good start. Let's
There
see.
might be more money out there, but that doesn't mean it's easy to get.
Or,
You know what I'm saying? Like there's so many startups getting investments in like Series A, Series B.
All right, here's what I'm searching.
Every day. Like
Changes
there's a-
in wealth distribution over time in America.
Okay.
The wealth gap between older and younger families continues to widen. The median wealth of younger families, ages 25 to 35, has remained fairly flat between 1989 and 2019. In contrast, the wealth of older families, ages 65 to 75, grew rapidly between 1995 and 2007 and has nearly recovered to those levels. Let's see. Trends in U.S. income and wealth inequality. Let's see.
What website is this?
This is Pew Research Center. They're an accredited place.
Okay.
Pew's good.
Household incomes are growing again after a lengthy period of stagnation. Let's see. That's not what we want. The rise in economic inequality in the U.S. is tied to several factors. These include, in no particular order, technological change, globalization, the decline of unions, and the eroding value of the minimum wage. Whatever the causes, the uninterrupted increase in inequality since 1980 has caused concern among members of the public, researchers, policymakers, and politicians. One reason for the concern is that people in the lower rungs of the economic ladder may experience diminished economic opportunity and mobility in the face of rising inequality, a phenomenon referred to as the Great Gatsby Curve. Sounds like we need to read
The
about
Jay
that.
Gatsby?
The Great Gatsby. The summary of the Great Gatsby Curve illustrates the connection between concentration of wealth in one generation and the ability of those in the next generation to move up the economic ladder compared to their parents.
Okay. That's kind of what I'm talking about.
So The Great Gatsby. Highlights the inequality and class distinctions in America during the 1920s. But that doesn't necessarily say it's gotten worse since the... Well, it does. It's gotten worse since the 20s.
I think I see what you're saying, though, which was that more people are better off these days, right? Or just that, like...
More or less, yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I think...
Even if not everybody's millionaires, just more people are better off. Is that what you're saying? Like,
I mean, I do think quality of life has
for most
increased
people.
for most people.
Right.
But I'm also
There are
saying...
still some major issues.
Maybe it used to be you could win the lottery or you could like find gold or find oil on your land. Those are your ways to just leap ahead in wealth. But nowadays,
there's a lot of different
many more ways to do that.
Yeah.
And those ways are attainable to pretty much everybody.
If you've got an internet connection.
If you have an internet connection.
Yeah.
You can make an app that you could.
Right. There's
Tonight,
a lot more of
some poor
those
kid in
kinds of
Arkansas
things
might be making an app
that changes everything. Yeah.
is the next Snapchat and he's going to get $1 billion.
You're right. So maybe
I'm just a hopeful.
Well, that's obviously true.
Yeah. But
but that's the answer.
Income equality in the U.S. has increased. Income inequality has increased since 1980 and is greater than in peer countries.
Right.
So,
and then go down to here. So they're talking about the
one
ratio.
widely used measure, the 90-10 ratio, takes the ratio of the income needed to rank among the top 10% to the... in 1980, the 90-10 ratio stood at 9.1, meaning that households at the top had incomes about 9 times of those below.
Yeah, see, that's crazy.
The ratio increased in every decade since 1980, reaching 12.6 in 2018, which was an increase of 39%.
Interesting.
So the top 10% is taking more from the 90%. The 90% has become less profitable.
And it's harder to get into the 10%, is what I was thinking.
Gotcha. It's becoming even harder.
It's even harder
now
to get into that percentage.
To get to that because you need so much to get into that.
And because the systems are in place to make sure that the 20 corporations keep their profits and the rest of us keep buying things.
Trying to just get by.
Just to get
I don't
by.
see that it's harder to get into the 10%. It's just that the wealth of the 10% has increased and the wealth of the 90% has decreased. The middle class is shrinking. I agree with that.
That's definitely happening.
I guess all I'm saying is your Hail Mary options to I'm going to get rich this year.
There's YouTube and TikTok.
There's
you can
more
blow
of those
up.
now than ever.
I'll give you that.
That's fair.
But
you still have to put in the work.
You do. Oh,
you still have to know how to use stuff.
Of course.
It's all these things are accessible and available to us now, but you still
pull
have to know.
ourselves up by the bootstraps.
You just have to do it.
You
don't even have to necessarily know stuff. You got to do it. So many people are like,
I got this thing.
This guy made $20 million just playing with toys with his kids. Like, I could do that. Then do it. You didn't do it.
Right, you didn't do it.
They did it. You didn't do it.
He made all the videos.
They got all the money.
Edited him. You put him up.
He
did that. You didn't do that.
But how many people are just making
and you did it over
$20
4
million
years,
or
right? These channels.
$5 million a year just playing with toys with their kids, That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
I
right.
I agree. This is happening.
And I think we did it. Yeah.
But also maybe I'm just an optimistic person.
I am too.
And I'm always looking for
Not
my big
these days. I'm
my cash out
becoming
moment.
more pessimistic.
I'm looking for my cash out moment always.
Yeah.
And now more than ever, there's more cash out moments I think than ever before.
Definitely true.
In society.
They got you by the
cash
balls.
Out. Cash out.
I'm just kidding. It's
Cash
nice.
it
I'm
out.
glad you believe that. That's good. I agree. You can do it.
Fuck yeah.
That's crazy how we got on all that.
Yeah.
I know. I think,
love it.
I think we gotta lay this debate to rest.
All right. Well, at least we looked something up. You know, there were some
You
complaints.
need a gavel
that
at
we
these things. Go on as a judge. We've settled this one at the end of every little debate.
World
we're
fixed.
break it up.
Thank you very much. Well, hey, is there anything else you wanted to talk about, Brendon?
Where can we send people? Obviously, Spotify. Spotify. Is there a little
Sweet Tooth.
Sweet Tooth?
Sweet Tooth. Let's talk about Sweet
Yeah.
Tooth. Yes.
Well, you've been a huge part of that as well.
I'm
by
a part
contributing
of
your
it.
songs.
Mostly, I'm a fan.
Sweet Tooth Music.
So what is that?
Starting to put out compilation albums on bandcamp.com.
Check it out.
Great site.
This is sort of using your A&R,
Yeah,
your
curation,
curation, your
PR,
your eye for things.
Yeah, and I've written for Ground Sounds in the past.
Gosh, we didn't even
That
talk
was
about Ground
fun.
Sounds.
Well,
Ground Sounds, check it out. Groundsounds.com.
great music website.
Great music website.
Discover new sounds. But anyways, yeah. So I started Sweet Tooth after writing for Ground Sounds, just because I had built a bunch of relationships and had always loved discovering new music, but always had good friends that were making cool songs. So yeah, Sweet Tooth has been fun to just put out
What's the dream
new
for Sweet
music.
Tooth?
It could be many things. Potentially like an online radio station in the future. I want to put some cool merch out. Eventually, keep putting out compilation albums. I just want to kind of keep make a vinyl album, physical products, tapes.
Yeah, you've talked about that before.
Cassette tapes.
So you'd sort of sign up, and every month you get this vinyl record
That could be cool too. Yeah,
of the mix or something
yeah,
like
like
that.
a Sweet Tooth compilation that you're just going to get, and you know the bands, or there's a lot of options. I'm not really sure where it could go, but I think it's fun to kind of see where it can go.
I'm excited.
So-
I'm excited to see where it goes because I believe
Yeah.
in you. You're
Thanks,
a hardworking
dude.
person,
Yeah.
and you're you have a good ear. You know what's
appreciate
good,
that,
and
yeah.
you're good at discovering new shit. And I've always been honored to be a part of Sweet Tooth mixes. Do you drop them every month?
I try. Sometimes I miss a month. Not too consistent on it. Kind of just depends, but yeah.
Where can people find
It's fun.
Sweet Tooth?
Just sweettoothsounds.bandcamp.com.
Boom.
Yeah. And Sweet Tooth Music.
Yeah.
Just Google
I've been on
that.
there a little bit with some of my solo stuff, actually.
Yeah, Paul's been on there. Our friend Dude, some good bands, Carousel, Catsor, this band that Bijan turned me on to.
Turned you into. You're a
yeah,
shapeshifter.
I'm in a band now. I'm a band
Turned into
now.
a whole band.
Yeah.
I'm a band.
Who else has been on? Yeah, some good. Martin, good
Yeah.
friend Martin Gohari, great jazz piano player from the East Coast. He's been on them. Who else? Some of his friends. So yeah, it's been cool just to kind of see. And I kind of just wanted to build a community. Like I want you to discover new music. I want like all the artists that are on them to discover the other artists and hopefully collab with each other. Like that's also what my goal was down the line, is to actually like, oh, you were on a Sweet Tooth. Like for the bands and artists to like bond over being on the compilation albums and be like, oh, I was on the third one. Oh, cool. I was on like the fifth one when that one came out. And then for them to kind of like, but I don't know how to like create that environment. I just know hopefully that could be a thing, like a community of like like a shared connection. Like, oh, we all went through like the Sweet Tooth thing when that was like going down, and who knows what it could be, but it could be like a cool connection point for a lot of different
Could almost
people
be
over
like,
time. Like, oh, we all like were a part of that.
yeah.
And,
You could even host like parties, jams.
yeah.
Like
I
a
mean,
jam
eventually,
card kind of a situation.
once real life is starting to happen a lot more, like Sweet Tooth will definitely be throwing events. Like I can
Yeah.
definitely see that happening.
I would love to perform and come hang or whatever.
Definitely. Yeah.
I'll help you
And I'd love
organize.
to do like art there too, like a combination, like Sweet Tooth takes over an art gallery and then there's some music too. Like I would love to do.
So you're a
some stuff.
tastemaker.
Yeah. I just want to be able to like connect people, throw events too, and just bring different worlds together, different kinds of people. That's just, I've always loved that kind of stuff. You know that.
I do.
Been a big part
Absolutely.
of who I am.
Whoa. Tastemaker, bringing people together.
Yeah.
Shape shifting melting pot over
Shape-shifting,
here.
Taste making Son of a bitch. Well,
Yeah.
all right.
That's it.
Thank you for doing the show, Brendon.
You got it.
I love you.
Love you too, man.
I adore you.
Love you, Kristen.
I love you, man. That was so fun.
This was awesome.
This was great.
Thanks,
Ladies and
y'all.
gentlemen, Brendon Goldwasser. Wow. That was perfect. We've got, the theme song, I probably should have said this earlier, but the theme song for this show
Yeah, it's on a
is
Sweet Tooth
featured
compilation.
on the recent Sweet Tooth compilation.
It's on the fourth one.
On
the
Sweet
fourth
Tooth
snack
4.
pack.
So go check it out.
Woochie Baby
you only
did
ever
the,
hear
the
Woochie.
first person on this podcast, Woochie Baby, did the cover art, the album art for these
done a
compilation
lot of the
albums.
art, right? Yeah.
Yeah, all four.
All of
these
them.
first four.
Amazing.
Super cool.
So yeah, when I look at them all together, I'm like, these look cool together.
I like how
very
they're all
happy
so
she was
different, but they
involved.
fit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like she's great. You're great. Love your stuff.
The wooch.
The wooch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet Tooth, Elk Lodge, we're all wrapped up in the same world. We got
Yeah.
a cool
Cool
clique.
thing going on.
Cool crew.
Get with it.
You can sit with us.
Yeah, you can sit with us.
I should have been holding it this whole time.
I'm going to do this from now on. All right.
Oh, can you
This
hang
is
them next
natural,
time?
isn't it?
Get hanging mics.
Ooh, hanging
I can
mics would be
try-
cool.
I could
You
try.
just
Blocking the
step
view.
up like,
Nah, I mean, it's still
let
be
me
cool,
tell you
though.
about that one time. Okay, I
Yeah.
got
Listen
it.
here, buddy.
I gotta
Yeah,
be
it
done.
would be cool to have it kind of more
Can you
movable.
I should have requested the kind of mic that you get when, the guy, let's get ready to rumble. It kind of comes down from the ceiling.
Oh, yeah.
What's his name?
That cool silver looking
His
one.
name is something Buffer.
Right, that's the guy Steven Lux loved.
Well, they love Bruce Buffer. That's his brother.
Oh,
Bruce Juice.
That main guy. Let's get ready to rumble. His brother has a very similar voice and does all that stuff for the UFC. That's Bruce Buffer.
Bruce.
But the boxing guy is
a different-
something else Buffer.
I see.
But anyway,
A different guy.
all right.
Cool.
Love you.
Love you too.
Good night, everybody.
It's a wrap.
Oh, that was great. Solid 2 hours.
Nice. Yeah?
Fuck yeah.
Damn, that went fast.
Right? Doesn't
It's
it go
crazy.
fast?
Yeah. I thought we were like, barely
We were
did
just getting
anything.
started, dude.
Yeah.
Funny.
Yeah.